Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Call of Duty Challengers Elite. My name is Bryce and we'll be bringing you all the action from the European region. First of all, before we go over to North America, joining me here, of course, my two colleagues, Ellen and Tan. Tan, how are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm refreshed after yesterday with what was some very, very good games. Look, we had some long series yesterday. We've seen a couple of map number 5, some high-level competition, but I'm refreshed, ready for day number 2.
Good to hear. Ellen, how about yourself?
Well, you know, Bryce, I will say this. It has been raining here in Austin, Texas for a week. And sometimes with me, it's just the little things that make me feel better. So we had a little inkling of sun today. And I tell you what, it's just a great day for it because I, too, am just excited to see what's in store for today.
Awesome, that's good to hear. Well, if yesterday was anything to go by, we certainly are in for another good day of Call of Duty. Many of these teams looking to redeem some of their records from yesterday, of course, and for the others looking to continue to build on great successes. There have been a few instances of teams actually upsetting and giving us a bit of a shock. So let's fill you in on what actually ended up happening yesterday. These are our current standings. As you can see, Elevate at the moment 2-0, 6-1 map count. Then Los Pepes had a great day yesterday at the same time. Then we go August, Mavericks, Amelia Strays, the Originals, Hot Tub Meta, and Team War. Ton, who stands out for you here?
I mean, you have to say Los Pepes, it's a little bit of a surprise to see them setting it 2-0. Going up against Hot Tub Meta and, of course, Team War, winning both those games, only dropping one map, and they are certainly one to watch. I think, you know, from the last season, we've kind of had a bit of a learning lesson with Amelia Strays, who went on to do so well. That the fact that this is not a surprise necessarily to see some of these teams catching some of the top teams off guard. So Los Pepes, we're going to get to see have a chance to see them today specifically. So that should be an interesting one, but I'm curious to see if they can keep this form up.
Yeah, me too as well, of course. And I think for a lot of these teams as well, getting into the elite is obviously the first goal, but then you've got 8 great teams to try and fight through. Ellen, anybody already becoming kind of your favorite team to keep an eye on?
It's for me, it is that Los Pepes squad because there are just a team that is unexpectedly, 2-0. But the team that I was worried about that was my favorite is the Team War squad. You look at this squad and you see from, just even from the first season and the second, like they were just a dominant squad. And I feel like they've kind of fallen off just a little bit. And now with the loss of Invidian, who's the coach, now they have Yako who stepped up to the plate, but he's running a different role. He's not running that AR role. He has a sub in hand. So just seeing how Metals and Lucky are kind of adjusting to that AR role, it's just something with them is struggling. And I'm just really worried about who they play today because they have Elevate and Hot Tub Meta on the line. So the road's not going to be easier for Team War as they're fighting, essentially Elevate, who's already a Titan, and Hot Tub Meta. I mean, kind of on paper, looks a little tricky, but you look at the players on this team and you know that they're definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Well, let's hope so. Let's see how they continue on through the rest of Challengers Elite. But let's find out what we've got coming up today. Of course, we start off with Hot Tub Meta versus Team War. Then Los Pepes versus August. Some stories already going on around those teams. Then we go all the way across to our North American region. Trash Bros versus Built by Gamers. And then Nemo versus Easter. A big day full of big games. Ton, any of those you're particularly looking forward to?
I think the Los Pepes against August game should be very interesting. We'll see how good Los Pepes really are feeling and how August's new roster is looking as well. There's a couple of different queries around how that's going to work out, but this first game's super interesting as well. As mentioned, both these teams kind of do need the wins at this point, so it is very, very interesting to see who's going to come out on Europe's side of things this week. We were talking so much about how we're not too sure who's going to win it. We should have a little bit of a better idea after this evening.
Yeah, once those results start rolling in, we can kind of figure out exactly where everybody's going to sit. And I suppose it's now time to move all of this conversation onto our current game, of course. Hot Tub Meta versus Team War. First map will be Moscow Hardpoint, then Moscow Search and Destroy, Checkmate Control, and then we hit a double raid to round things out, Hardpoint and Search. Ton, I am sorry, my friend, there is still no standoff.
It's a crime shame, to be honest with you. Right, look, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's a team that we could potentially be seeing, of course, this evening that I know that don't mind playing it. They wouldn't mind throwing it in there. That's what I heard a couple of days ago. So I'm holding out hope, Ricey. I've got we need a little bit of excitement, and I'm hoping Standoff is going to be thrown in there as well, just to up the level of excitement, at least anyway.
Well, we'll keep an eye on, see if it does happen. Ellen, these two teams about to throw down, not had the greatest start to challenge as a lead, of course, but which one are you feeling?
Well, looking at the map set, I see that Team War kind of avoided playing Express SND against Hot Tub Meta because they are firecracker on that map. So I am kind of scared, though, looking at Moscow as Team War. They played Los Pepes against them yesterday, and the lead kind of got stolen from them. I believe they had a 200-point lead, and it got taken away, and Los Pepes came out on top. So looking between the two, it's hard to say, but based on that factor, I think that Hot Tub Meta might have the advantage on this one, just for the fact that, maybe they had a couple of close games yesterday that were just had the slight edge over Team War, but going into this, you can't count out neither teams, but I just think Hot Tub Meta might have the advantage on this one.
All right, well, let's find out the very first game of today in Challengers Elite. It is going to be Team War versus Hot Tub Meta on Moscow Hardpoint. Over to our casters, Tan and Ellen.
Thank you very much, Brycey. And into this one we go, and as said, it is an important one for both these two teams. Not necessarily the best of starts from either side of things. Of course, both of them sitting at the very bottom of the league at 0-2 right now. So somebody's is going to go. And whose is it going to be? Team War initially have started things off a little bit better, but I think you were right, Ellen, what you said at the top of the show was the fact that these guys looked so good within the first two seasons kind of fell off a little bit. They've now made this change with Yakko coming in instead of Nvidia moving to a coach role, but we are yet to see them hit the ground running like we thought they may start to. So let's see if they can do that here against Hot Tub Meta. As mentioned, it is a very good start for them. Rotations towards P2 do belong to them as well, and it's the kind of start they absolutely needed.
Yep, and a great start indeed for them as they are 30 to 8, but Nolson working that street side. He has a little bit of help from Zero here as he does get tagged up, and Team War still holding on to those spawns now as they have 3 down for Hot Tub Meta, and now essentially they're going to have to flood through that Esky side as Journey just making his way towards the middle, trying to disrupt that push, and now he gets taken down by Zero as the flood is going to come in from Hot Tub Meta, and they still have plenty of time to work with, but yet again, Team War, as you see on red in your kill feed, as they just keep continuously wiping down the team of Hot Tub Meta, but those rotations surely going to come in as you already see Nolson on that rotation setup, and Metals here just trying to fight the push, but ultimately they're going to be thinking about those rotations towards P3.
Yep, I think if you're Hot Tub Meta there, you just try and maybe contest it. Stop Team War getting a hold of as many points as they possibly could have there, and well, you didn't necessarily do the best job at that, but let's rotate around and make sure we've got P3 locked in. That's got to be the plan here. Let's see if they can keep a hold of it, though. See, the push is now going to come towards the bank side, potentially. Maybe Hot Tub Meta's chance to defend. Defrag will find one. Is the trade going to come through? Yes, it is. Lucky will find that. Shot's going to come in from Joe, though, who did patrol the street side. Where's Joe going to spawn? Just about towards the back. His teammate went down just before he spawned back in, but he still manages to get there. We can see Defrag spawning out on the street, so it's the opportunity now for Team War to try and make this push. Journey finds Zero around the back. Yakko and Metals doing well. Nelson should be dead. It's a very, very nice break from Team War.
Metals, as he's making a statement with this AR in hand, on currently a 6 streak, now 7-3, holding up the push through the front as he takes down Joe. Managing to scrape away with his life, but challenge comes in to Nolson, and yeah, beautiful shots in from him, and now he has full streaks on an 8 streak now. Metals getting definitely comfortable with that AR in hand, but ultimately can do the work with the 74U, but he gets taken down by Joe, and now the fights come in, but ultimately Team War still spawning in that back bank spawn, and Lucky trying to answer back, but Defrag is there to take down the trade. Metals cleans him up just as nice, but now towards that street side, you're going to start to see the rotations come in, and ultimately it's Hot Tub Meta who still have the points, but the kills come in for favor of Team War, and Metals is doing everything he can to secure this win this time around.
Yeah, I mean, that early rotation for Hot Tub Meta came in towards the library point, but could not lock that down. Ultimately, it was about the same difference by the time we do head over towards Street, but it is Team War inside the point now. Only 20 seconds remaining on this one, though, and Hot Tub Meta will quite happily just keep this side of spawns if at all possible. Lock in P1 and then try and make this rotation over towards P2. Zero the first one there. 5 and 11 out of him, and maybe need to see a little bit more out of the former London man. It's a difficult battle, though. I mean, if you look at it, Metals is having a good performance. Rightfully so. Team More have a decent enough lead to show for that as well. Let's see if these teams can continue this relatively close battle, though. It has to be said. It has come down to maybe one different rotation, working in the favor of Team More. But if Hot Tub Meta can lock in P2 here, after picking up some decent points on P1, they're right back in the game.
That's correct, but just like that, Team War already seemed to wipe them off the point, and the spawns, they still have control of the spawns, so that's good in favor for them, but 28 seconds left remain onto this point as Team War is already pushing through, and Nolson's going to desperately try to hold the street side as that push comes through, and Journey takes him out. The shots on him, just not enough able to connect, and now it's Team War again on that P2 rotation, and this hill is ever so crucial.
That's one of those gunfights that I think, you know, Nolson's kind of got to win. That was Journey with a 7-4U from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those that you need to see him win it. May well have went down, but is it that sort of gunfight that hasn't been going the way of Hot Tub Meta throughout this game? Journey now on a 5 spree. That's with a 7-4U on the transition. What is that on the Joe as well? He's still going. Eventually does fall to defrag. What can Hot Tub Meta do here? They really have just been outslayed across the map, and that has been a big problem for the squad going forward now. 0 at 7 and 15, can't really do much. Yakko is there in every single point. Going over towards Team War. If they lock this one in, they're very close to that 200-point mark. Look at the shots from Yakko. Challenges the second on Nolson. He should get traded. But Team War, the Spanish very much feeling this one right now. They will lock in that scrap time, 15 seconds. Big fight going to be going over the other side as well. Zero will win that. Hot Tub Meta desperately, and I mean desperately, need a good hold here at Library.
And now Journey is going to try to disrupt that hold as he's pushing through the bar site here in the store, but ultimately he's going to have to worry about Zero, who's set up on this bus, and that's a huge kill right there. Can he get the second on Joe? And he does. That's a huge 2-piece there for Team War, but ultimately, it's still Hot Tub Meta who still have that back spawn, and
nope.
Well, you don't want to do that.
Nope,
stick
not
on to
ideal.
Yakko there, but Journey's still trying to answer back with a huge 2-piece. You can't let that happen if you're Hot Tub Meta, but just like that, Team War just break right on through. The streaks are going to come flying in, and now it's Team War just reigning in the skies as Metal's just trying to hold on to his life, and that push comes in, but ultimately, this is looking pretty good for Team War.
Yeah, Journey's having a hell of a game at 24 and 14. Hot Tub Meta. I think for them in that scenario, you haven't lost a great deal, whilst a lot of streaks have been invested for Team War, so you could look at it like that. They've got control for Street here as well. A good hold puts them back into the game, but it feels like we've been saying that for quite some time, yet no streaks available now on the side of either team. Of course, Team War, the only one who did have any. This is a big kill, potentially going to come up here. Lucky is going to spot out Zero. It was maybe a little bit more patient. These next couple of gunfights need to go in the favor of Hot Tub Meta. The challenge in from defrag, nicely done. If they can lock in a decent amount of time here, get the rotations down correctly to P1 and P2, they are into the game, but we could already see Team War, look, they're already setting up super early to get a hold of those spawns.
Yeah, and just like you said there, Ton, Hot Tub Meta, again, they just need to play perfect hardpoint and get some decent time on this. And Team War rotating over. It still looks like they're fighting for the scrap time here. But ultimately, it's Hot Tub Meta. That's 3 dead now. So now they can pick up this remaining scrap time. But the rotations, like you said, they're going to be key here onto this mid-hill. But the battles are going to be coming in between both teams as Zero just trying to lock down this globe side. He knows that ultimately they know where he's at as he's done, but the fights are coming in still on this mid-rotation, and Joe winning that huge gunfight onto Journey. Still alive on the point. It's just going to be a complete bloodbath as both teams just fighting. The lead is ultimately, it's getting closer and closer for them as Hot Tub Meta is still fighting on that one.
Well, that's big from Yakko from behind. Nelson has to turn around. Team War, can they do anything from this front? The thing is for Team War, they don't need to get too silly on this one. Challenge into Joe comes when he wins the gunfight, as does Defrag win the second. Now this is where things get a little bit scary if you're Team War, especially if this gunfight goes the other way. Joe, inside of green, is going to fall, but here come the rest of Hot Tub Meta. The pressure is on. You can see this spawn out. Zero finds one. The rest of the team need to be there. Where are the spawns coming in here for Team War? It is towards street side, so it is only Lucky alive left in police station. The rotation comes through. He's going to be so crucial for Team War to break this back. All of a sudden, it's a 10-point game. Just like that, it has turned around, but Lucky towards the back. Has a little bit of a reinforcement here now as 3 members of Team War locked down police station. If you're Hot Tub Meta, you're just trying to stay alive in and around the point to try and contest it. It's just going to explode any second now. Zero and Defrag, though, falling down from back police. It's only Joe there, able to answer. And Team War walk away with the prize. And they have enough time here to win it here on P2.
Huge there from Lucky, securing that spawn, and now still on a 5 streak right now. Lucky is absolutely going off. Hot Tub Meta, they need to essentially contest this as Team War very close. They can win off of this point, but Zero, he's waiting for his teammates essentially to flood through the front, and the push is going to come through. They don't have that much time left. There's only 8 seconds left on the clock. Zero pushes through the front. He does get taken out, but Metals, again, the pushes are just coming. But Metals ultimately able to save the point. Team War, it looks like they're going to have it, and there you have it. Team War, 250 to 205, but Hot Tub Meta really did climb back in to almost take the lead from them.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be... I think it's one of those that's encouraging, but at the same time, it's disappointing, isn't it? We're coming back into that game. And it's just that rotation towards P2. Lucky slips the net, gets the spawns for his team. And that's the game pretty much. Well played to Team War. They will take map number 1 in this series. And as mentioned, both these teams sitting at 0 and 2, which isn't ideal at all for either of them. But to get off that 0 is important. And it could potentially be a big game further down the line. We still obviously got weeks of play to come next week. And obviously we'll try, things will kind of transpire by that point of who is going to drop down through relegation. But the objective for all these teams is to get into that qualification, to get out to that knockout stages, to win the finals. That's kind of where you need to be at. And to be there, you need to be in the top 6. Right now, obviously, these two teams sit in 7th and 8th, respectively. But very much so, they could get themselves out of it very, very quickly. We're still early on. That was a really good performance from Team War there, Ellen. Journey, really the standout there for the Spanish side.
Yep, Journey, and just like you mentioned, Lucky staying alive in that back police, it really just seemed kind of like the battle of that P2 hill there, and right there at the end, just with Lucky staying alive and solidifying the spawns for his team, it really did just give him the edge towards the end and kind of just put Hot Tub Meta on the panic. But maybe if that lead didn't carry away so far from them, maybe it would have been a different outcome. But going into this search and destroy again, it's just both of these teams have a lot on the line, so it's I don't know, it just feels like harder and harder to predict as we go along because the competition is so close and it is so fierce.
Yeah, it is very, very difficult, especially at the beginning of the season, to kind of put a judgment on which way each series is going to go. It is difficult, but nonetheless, a good performance out of Team War, map number 1. We'll be staying on Moscow, but on Search and Destroy for the second map, and I'm still yet to see Standoff, Ellen. And the more that time goes on, the more it's going to get to me. But the fact that we have raids map 4 and 5 specifically is maybe just going to ease me off a little bit. But either way, Moscow is going to be coming up next. Checkmate Control, of course, map number 3. And as mentioned, if we do need it, it's a double raid coming in for Hardpoint and Search and Destroy in maps number 4 and 5. But look, at the start of that game, it really looked as if Team War were going to walk away with it very handily. Hot Tub Meta definitely got themselves back into it, though. And it's just about those rotations. There was a couple of times where I think it was Hot Tub Meta obviously rotated around towards Library Fountain Hill and they locked it down, but then they couldn't hold it down initially. They rotated early, sacrificed a lot towards P2 and really could not get enough points to really justify that rotation. So, you know, if they hold that down a little bit better, then of course we got a very different game, but they didn't. Team War take it. Heading into Moscow Search and Destroy, though, was something very, very different. Expecting the aggression to still continue to come out of Team War.
Yep, and I will say too, compared to yesterday, Team War, in terms of medals and Lucky, they look a lot better today and more comfortable with the ARs in hand. So maybe just essentially the changes that they made from yesterday today, it's working out a little bit better for them. They weren't able to close on Moscow yesterday, but today they were. So Just being early
it got
within the
kind of
season.
scary.
Yeah, it got kind of scary. You're right, it did. I really thought it was close to looking like what happened yesterday with Los Pepes, but ultimately they were able to close it out. And they're looking a lot better from what we've seen yesterday. And as a squad, just like you said, being 0-2, 7th and 8th, and potentially just having to fight here to qualify again, it's kind of surprising from this roster considering they did take season 1 and consistently have been a top 3, top 4 team.
Yeah, they really have been there for the majority of time, haven't they? And yet they haven't been able to put it together. The past couple of seasons, they were very fortunate to. I mean, the qualifier they didn't breeze through. They had to re-qualify after not qualifying for the single elimination knockout games on the Wednesday, of course. So yeah, they've had to go back through that re-qualification. What was it? They actually didn't make it through. They got it through the losers bracket side of things.
Losers.
They lost against Los Pepes originally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then they went on to beat Moon, who I'm not 100% sure who that was specifically, but they did get themselves through nonetheless. And I think that's one of those, though, the fact that they are just sort of scraping through. It can't keep happening for a roster like this, considering what we've seen from them at the beginning of the game. Like, all I heard was how good these guys were time and time again. And I don't know what it is. I just don't know if they've kept up with the meta. They've kept up with the pace of the game. Maybe as teams have started to learn how to play. Maybe they just learned a little bit quicker than everybody else did. And that's what made them look so good. Now that everyone's kind of very much in tune with how the game works, maybe they're being caught up a little bit. But I say that you look at how the team who is compromised of, and it's very much Slayer's Metal's journey. Look, you've always kind of been there and always really been very dangerous when it comes to putting up numbers on the board. And well, yeah, they did it that time round, but it nearly got a bit squeaky towards the end. The Search and Destroy coming up next, though, and we are expecting potential aggression coming through in Moscow. The Spanish teams can be quite aggressive in their Search and Destroy. We seen it yesterday with Mavericks, and just something to point out partially here as well. A lot of Spanish players in the Elite Challengers right now as well. We've got two full squads in Mavericks and, of course, Team War. Some of Los Pepes obviously coming from that region as well, so it's nice to see another contingent in and around the scene, apart from the French and UK side of things, which it mostly was.
Yeah, and you definitely do see a lot of diversity too in their gameplay. Like you said, they kind of favor that more of aggression type of play style. And I will say about this Team War squad is that they just need a little bit more time to adjust to a new player. And then they're now having a coach, but they did take 3rd in the last Open, so it's not like the potential's not there. They just kind of need to figure out the pieces to fit them together. So going into this,
maybe it was. Yeah, maybe it was just hard games yesterday, looking at who they did go up against. What was it? Emilia and Los Pepes. Of course, Los Pepes a bit of a surprise, but Team Emilia coming out 3-0ing them after what we've seen from Team Emilia in their first game. Maybe that's, not necessarily the best, but, let's see how they do get on. This is going to be one of those that is becoming a must-win this season. For all it does go on for a couple of weeks, it does go by very, very quickly. The games come thick and fast, and so do the maps in this series. Into Moscow, Search and Destroy we go. And it is very much a must-win for both these two teams. You do not want to be sitting at 0-3 after 3 games. Puts you in the bad spot. You're going to have to start thinking about winning at least 3 or 4 to make it through in the top 6. And with only 3 or 4 left to play, it's not the best spot to be in, Ellen. But here we go into the Search and Destroy. Team More on the attack first.
You're absolutely correct on that. It's not. But now medals. A little bit of information over there at A is Hot Tub Meta does have 3 set over onto that A site. Both teams just playing for a little bit of information as the rotation looks like it's going to happen towards that B bomb site, and Zero set up on that street side, kind of anticipating that rotation happening, but don't believe he spotted any players now as the bomb does start to go down, and looks like Team War is going to have that as Hot Tub Meta is going to look how to counter this one.
I think the important player here is Metals number 4 on your screen in the bottom left corner. Look, he's going to find that first kill, though, which is going to make things a little bit more difficult for Hot Tub Meta. But look at the flank coming through for Metals. Everybody inside of green, though. Nelson's going to find a kill. They're going to be expecting Metals from behind. There's one. And now surely it's just a flurry of gunfights that are going to go in the right direction. Hot Tub Meta now. It's a 1v2 for Nelson, and it is going to be a Team War round win. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Metals has played that well. It's the slow A on an island, make your way through the route that obviously the players from A would have come. And it's just a collapse, isn't it? Very, very difficult to deal with if you're hot tub meta. Just think about retaking the bomb site, then somebody starts coming behind you. It's not ideal in the slightest. 1-0.
Not a bad start for them. Team War either, as Metals is 2-0. And like you said, really, too, it's just that timing he got on that flank, it was just beautiful. Beautiful for Metals, but Hot Tub Meta looking to answer back. Looks like we may potentially have an aggressive A hit here. Yako already pushed up the mid here. And Zero, first bloods and shots onto Metals. Headshot. Very good play.
Yako
now,
again.
yeah, Yako with the flank coming in, and he does take down Joe, but now the fights come in. And now Zero, last left alive here on the A site, does manage to take out Lucky, and now he has to get away with his life. Minute left on the clock to worry about, but Yako aggressively going to try to find him as kind of tiptoeing around this corner, knowing he's around there somewhere, but the test of patience coming in from both players here, Ton.
It's going to come down to who blinks first. Problem there, Zero is the one with the objective to complete. Did Yako hear him? Zero lingering around the wall, but needs to get moving shortly. Yako is just being very, very patient. He's going to go for the check on the A, but Zero, he's dipped. He's out of that. Yako now going to start making his way back over towards B. Is he potentially? No, he lingers at A. This bomb's going to go down. It's going to be a 1v1. Yako now making his way over. Zero going to predict it. Here comes the gunfighter. Yako's got the gun up first. Another round for Team War. It's a big 1v1 win from Yako.
Wow. And the patience, too. The patience from Yako that he just displayed there. Not ultimately running out there and checking both bomb sites and sprinting back and forth, but just playing time, waiting for that bomb site to go down. And that was a good play. That was a good play coming in from Yako. And ultimately, Hot Tub... I was about to say Hot Tub Time Machine again. Hot Tub Meta. Hot Tub Meta. They just... hopefully not punishing themselves too bad on that one. Just having first blood. But
well, Zero seems to have left the game, so we'll be figuring something out in a second. And we'll get back into this one very, very shortly and find out what's going on. But a good start from Team War there. Of course, the initial round was the retake coming in over towards A after the bomb does go down. It was just, after planting the bomb themselves, just really nice round. And then that 1v1 from Yako just plays it super, super patiently. Not too sure what's gone on, but we should be finding out very shortly. Hopefully we'll get the players back into the game. I'll keep an eye on it myself in the lobby as well. But so far so good for Team War. 1-0 up in the series, 2-0 up in the Search and Destroy. You've got to be feeling pretty confident if you're a fan of the Team War squad. Yep. And just in their Search and Destroy, their teamwork, it's looking pretty good. Patience, and I mean, ultimately, nothing really stood out for me in that game. It just seemed like they were playing very textbook Search and Destroy, capitalizing on those first bloods, being patient, playing the objective, playing for the time, and they're just doing everything correctly. So Hot Tub Meta just kind of have to figure out a way to counter this, and I'm just looking forward to see how exactly they're going to do so, because like you said, this is a very important game at both teams, 0-2, and you don't want to fall 0-3 just off the start of the season. No, absolutely not. We are just trying to figure out what's going on in the game at the moment, but to see these teams both at the bottom, let's go through some of the squads that we are sort of seeing within this season. Of course, some of the teams to come through, obviously in the qualifier, Hot Tub Meta, Los Pepe's, Originals, and Team War are the ones who made it through last week. And of course, it was Amelia Stray's Elevate, Oglis, and Maverick Gaming Club that did stick around from the initial time. So it's interesting. It is very, very competitive. We're not too sure who's going to come out on top, who's going to drop down in relegation, who's going to win the whole thing. It's a very, very hard question to answer right now, but hopefully the answer will start to formulate over the next day or the next couple of weeks. We are going to go for a very quick break while we try to find out the answer to why this game has been stopped, and we will jump back in as soon as it's ready to go. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this. Ladies and gents, welcome back to the Call of Duty Challengers Elite stage here. Season number 4. And into this game, apologies for the delay. Just a slight issue on one of the players' internet side, but that is the glorious problem, of course, we're playing everything online, that these things can happen. But nonetheless, we are back into the action. Team More have a 2-0 lead in this Search and Destroy, a 1-0 lead in the game. Ellen, it's been an interesting one so far, but Team More looking good on this Search and Destroy.
Yep, and looking good indeed. The first blood already goes down for Team More as Metals takes out Nolson, and now Defrag working a very, very beautiful flank as he takes down Journey, and Metals now shooken up by that.
Oh my
takes
god!
Down Yako now. 2 to go down, evening up the odds. Lucky takes down 0, and now it's 2 versus 2. Defrag, let's see what he can do. He's got 29 seconds left on the clock, and Team More, I have to look how to answer back this one, but Metal's not exactly sure where Defrag went.
This is good though, because I think the fact that Defrag's pushing this kind of eliminates the option of A. So now Hot Tub Meta are going to have a good indication of where things are going on. By the way, I think if the other player on Hot Tub Meta doesn't die there, Defrag's absolutely challenging that towards the backside, but the bomb is going to go down. Defrag now jumps up, the bomb is there for cover, now a 1v1. Joe's able to find one, but it's him against Lucky. Shot's going to come in from Lucky, going to get challenged as well. Grenade out, looks for the damage. Is he expecting him to come all the way around? Oh, it's such a patient 1v1 from both players. 25 seconds remaining. Joe jumps on it, Lucky checks it. Team War 3-0 now.
Whew,
Just well played by Lucky, such patience.
Yeah, and that was looking like it was gonna get taken away from them because Team More, they did have first blood. Metals essentially won that gunfight over at A, but Defrag stirring it up a little bit as he just flanked right on through. And Team More though, beautiful, beautiful patience play from Lucky as they now lead this one again 3-0. Team More ultimately they only need to win 3 more rounds to close this one out, but Hot Tub Meta now on the attacking side. Let's see what they can do here. Looks like the push is going to come in towards B, but they're going to have Yako to worry about on this site. And Joe, he pushes right on through. Yako takes him down, and he gets manages to get away with his life for a second, but Nelson able to pick up that trade now, and Lucky going to look for this push.
Yep, the important one here is going to be Metals on the flank once again. He's done it before. Trophy system getting a little bit of information that Team War are around. That's allowed Metals to push all the way around. I think these last 2 players in Team War will be waiting for Metals to make this push. Just clear that out so they can get a good idea of what's going on. Journey challenges Nelson. No, the trade's going to come through all of a sudden. It's 0 left all on his own. Oh, shot's going to come in. They're fantastic on the Metals. It's a 1v1. Lucky against 0. 0 sprints behind the cover. Lucky is ready and waiting. I don't think 0 expects Lucky to be so close. That's 2 1v1s in a row for Team War and 2 1v1s from Lucky.
Lucky is kind of the breakout player too, because ultimately he won that rotation onto the first map of Moscow, right? Where he just securing those kills into the spawn for his team, and Lucky's kind of doing it all this series. Not a bad game from him, is like you said, taking away 2 search rounds. And doing just that. Now 4-0. Team More. Looking like a different team from yesterday, too. Lucky looking more and more comfortable. But now on a 4 streak on the attacking side. Team More looking to answer back on this one. Is I think we're going to see an A, maybe a potentially A, aggressive A push here.
Look at the defense from Hot Tub Meta, though. Nelson's in a real tough spot. If he can find even anything here, that would be good. A bit of information. Oh, the player escapes behind the bomb. Surely somebody's watching from the right-hand side, he would presume. Can't get the bomb carrier. The timing's not the best. Oh, he finds 2, though. The grenade's perfectly placed. All of a sudden, a 4v2. Nelson is going to fall, but has the work already been done. I don't think 0 expects Metals to challenge that. Lucky finds one at the Defrag. It's a 4v2. In favor of Hot Tub Meta, they may well lose it, but join the 1v2! Not gonna happen. Team War win another one in this one. They really shouldn't have.
I agree with you, but wow, that challenge for medals and like a Team War, it just always seems like they're just putting themselves in such great positions to trade. And man, I just think that's just it. They're just putting themselves in very good positions to trade, and every single time they're getting that kill. So lucky, 6-1 right now, and seems just like it's the Lucky and Medals show, as they're both 6-1, 5-2, having a really good game right now. So Hot Tub Meta, they're back against the wall. This is the winning point for Team War. I don't know how they have to claw their way back into this one, but already down now. Yakko taking down Defrag. This is not looking good in their favor.
Yeah, not ideal. Nelson is going to find a player on the cross through mid, though. That will free a little bit of pressure up over towards B. But as mentioned, Team 1 did have a 2-0 lead. We had to restart it, so they're technically up 5-0 here. And they need to find 6 rounds in a row to Hot Tub Meta. Can they find this one? The bomb is down, not in a bad spot. Nelson now going to fall, though. 0 is there to answer back 2v2. 24 seconds remaining here. Shots in from Lucky. That might just inspire Yakko to jump on the bomb, not quite. They're really trying to clear it out, whereas Hot Tub Meta have just kind of got the hell out of dodge. Now they're looking for the recheck. Lucky will find one. Now we need to see if Joe can clutch this one. Oh, gets the bomb carrier. Oh, is it going to be enough? I think it was just about enough. Or was it?
Oh, it's going to be close. I think he got it. No! Oh! Oh, that was so close. I thought he had it. Well,
that's as close as it gets.
Yeah. Just so close, but Hot Tub Meta finally getting around on the board now. But man, I just, if your Team War, they're looking so strong in terms of their trades. Hot Tub Meta is really gonna have to figure out a way to counter them. Now on the attacking side, Team War, how are they gonna play this one? But you see the offensive defensive push right here from Hot Tub Meta, already set up on that A point. Now, are they gonna push through or rotate through that mid? And it looks like they're kind of splitting off, but yeah. Journey anticipating that push. Shots into Joe. Joe's just getting away with his life.
Just about. It's good defense from Hot Tub Meta, though. They get aggressive at A, then they expand out through mid so they can get a good idea if the push to B is going to be coming through. It's really Nelson in the middle who is going to make that call if it does happen. Defrag though, grenade out, doesn't really do a great deal, but time is dwindling on here, and Nelson will find the first kill, and that was on the transition over towards B. See, now are they looking for him? No, they're just looking for Joe on the escalators. They know Nelson's in the middle as well. He somehow gets out. Just surviving is the option here for Nelson, but he now falls. The snap from Journey. 2v3 in favor of Team War. That bomb's going to go down today.
13 seconds left. Defrag is going to try to counter this, as he might get the timing on the bomb site, and he takes down Metals. Beautiful shots in from him, but he has Journey on the flank to worry about. But now this leaves 0 alive in a 1 versus 2. He's actually going to go for the sneaky defuse. I don't know if they're going to actually have time. They're not going to check it.
Got it.
0 got it. 0 got it. And if you're Team War, you got to be kind of mad on that one. But Hot Tub Meta clawing their way back into this one here, Ton.
Just about. It's taking a couple of 1v1s to get them there.
Round by round.
I like that from 0. Yeah, round by round, indeed. I like that from 0, though. It doesn't happen enough, and not enough people jump on the bomb early.
I agree.
It's an art that has been lost in the realms of Call of Duty, Ellen. You know, people like us, smart search and destroy players.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, we'd be bringing that
up. Yeah, I would totally.
I love a ninja defuse. Love it. It's a hallmark play.
And it's just like the timing has to be just right, especially if they just got off the plant. You're in the position to do so. 0 took advantage of it, and he clearly won the round. But now Hot Tub Meta on the offensive side. So let's see what he can do. Stun check comes in, but Trophy looks like it may have eaten that one up. Again, he's
gotta expect the flank.
Yep.
Here it is. Oh, the timing for Joe as soon as he turns round. Yakko dips out. Now it's just a firefight on the A site. 3 full. Yako now in a 1v3, not going to happen. Hard to admit, and that's 3 rounds in a row. 5-2 to Team War now after 2 rounds won previously before we had a disconnect. Well, they just line up perfectly for Nelson. You know, that's come from the fact that Yako pushes through Eskies, sees the player, who then moves onto the bomb site, so then Team War go to challenge that. Nelson's ready and waiting. Kind of played in their hands quite nicely. So 5-3 now. Another 3 rounds, yeah, would be a full sail for Hunter Meta. Still, kind of just on the edge of losing this map. Another aggressive defense from the B side of things from Hunter Meta. I don't think War will have expected more players to push through, though.
And they got it.
And there you go. Lucky gets caught off guard, and all of a sudden it's a 4v3.
Yeah, just like you said. And Hot Tub Meta, essentially, they could just back down. Now you see the rotation slowly start to come in towards that A site. And Nolson taking down Metals. Can he get the second? No. But the bomb is down now in a 3 versus 2. This is not looking too bad for Hot Tub Meta. They have live advantage, but interesting play.
Yeah. Are they planted for Eski's side? You would think. Yeah, looks that way. Stun comes down though. Defrag checks it. Defrag gets taken down. 2v2. Just watch a doorway. Each Joe hasn't been able to be taken down. That's 4 rounds in a row for Hot Tub Meta now.
That seems like
4-3 in this game. It is getting scary.
That was scary.
2 rounds for Team War initially, of course, as mentioned. If you have missed it, 5-4 technically now. Team War only need 4 rounds, whereas Hot Tub Meta do need the 6.
I really liked that play from Team War, but I feel like it was very risky, just essentially giving up the bomb site. And, you know, they worked it and ran together, but it's very hard to take control of that Eskies, especially if you have live advantage, and Hot Tub Meta had control over that site. Easy retake for them, but now the momentum is high for Hot Tub Meta, just like you said, bringing this into favor 4 in a row for them. On the verge of losing it, but both teams know how much is on the line for this one, is both waiting patiently and just looking for a little bit of information, but minute left on the clock. We slowly start to see that mid push from Hot Tub Meta. Which bomb site are they going to work? Either A or B. Team War split.
They've been catching Team War off guard with some relatively different strats. The 3-man defensive B street hit was not one that Team War expected. Trophies down, so the information is there for Team War. They would have heard that one. 4v4 has to be a retake. Yako checks it, and the trade doesn't come through. So it's a 4v3 retake here for the side of Team War. Shot's going to come through though. Lucky will find 0. Nelson needs a big couple of trades here. Yako now to challenge as well. Nelson's going to fall, and the fight inside is going to fall the way of Team War. 11-5 out of Lucky within 8 rounds of Search and Destroy is a big reason as to why Team War are going to take this game, and that is going to be 2-0 now to the Spanish side, who are in a commanding position in this series. It's a really nice retake. Lucky just ready and waiting for the push to come through the street side. It looked as if Hot Tub Meta just committed a lot to that, and they find the gunfights, and Lucky finds 3 to finish things up. Well played to Team War. They stop the bleeding and win that one, a 2-0 lead in the series now.
Yeah, that was starting to look a little bit scary as Hot Tub Meta again. Yeah. They were clawing their way back in. But what I really like out of Team War, like you said, Lucky was posted up that street side, but he had his 2 teammates there that were helping him bait out. So I really like the fact that they bait and switch for their players, for their teammates, and just seeing that level of teamwork from a team, it's hard. It's a really lot of chemistry, and you know, just with having a new player with Yako onto the squad, you can just see that they have clearly improved, just even from yesterday to today. And Lucky, yeah, like you said, 11-4. What a great performance out of him.
Really good performance. But it has to be said, you know, Hot Tub Meta, they did kind of claw their way back into that one. A couple of 1v1s went their way. But then you have to take into consideration it was actually in the 2-0 before things turned around, it was another 2 1v1s that went the way of Team War. So that game was very, very close realistically. At one point, yes, okay, Team War were 5-0 up. That conceivably could have only been 3-2. Then, of course, we see Hard Tub Meta win 4 rounds in a row. It could have been a very different search and destroy. I think, in the end, the 6-4 win, I wouldn't say it humbles Team War, but it very much could have been 6-4 to Hard Tub Meta realistically.
Oh, yeah, and I see exactly what you mean. It's just like those 1v1s are really like the deciding factors for those rounds. I totally agree and understand. But ultimately, there were a couple of rounds, I think, on those same situations where Team War had the first blood. You look at those rounds and you think, well, how did they get in that position to be with? They almost got punished, but ultimately, I know when I'm playing Search and Destroy, I mean, when I used to compete, it's like, man, if you have that first blood, you really feel like you should win those rounds, especially being able to open up the map. But Hot Tub Meta almost capitalized on those faults. The Team War ultimately still just coming through.
Yep, just about, and we are going to be heading into a control, I believe, on checkmate for map number 3. It's going to have to be the reverse sweep here, though, for Hot Tub Meta if they are wanting to get themselves off a 0-2 right now. It's looking more and more like it's going to be 0-3, but 2 close games in maps number 1 and 2 dictate how this series has went so far. The Spanish fans in the chat will be happy with their team at this moment in time. Checkmate coming up as well, though. Very interested to see how this one goes. The AR battle mostly has been won by Team War, so interested to see if either team can get a setup and if they can hold it here on the defensive side. Because defense is really king when it comes to checkmate, and can the teams make the most of that? We will see raid map 4 and 5 if we do need to on Hardpoint and Search and Destroy, of course. And, well, if you're a Hot Tub Meta fan, you're going to need to see those maps if you want to see them win this series. And it's becoming one of those that it could potentially be a must-win. Hot Tub Meta really do need to turn this round. Looking at who else they have to play is not an easy run for these guys at all. I'm just having a quick look. They've got to play Mavericks this evening as well. Then on day 3, I do apologize, I'm just busy checking who they do actually have to play. Then they're going to play Elevate and Amelia Strays on day 3 as well. That is a very, very tough going and Elvis to close things off. There are no easy games here at all in North America or Europe. All the teams are very closely knit, it has to be said. It is very, very close across the board. And I think, that's shown over the past few seasons. We've had different winners. We've had teams sort of come out of nowhere like Amelia Strays. People didn't know how to play against them, and then all of a sudden we have Los Pepes who have come through and looked really, really good as well. I'm excited to see them against Oaklis in our second game after this one. We're still looking for the conclusion of Team War and Hot Tub Meta. But Ellen, as mentioned, not any easy games at all, and they really do come thick and fast. It's hard to see if Hot Tub Meta can't win this one where their next win comes from. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's going to look scary for them. I agree. And just looking at this squad, Defrag, Joe, Nolson, Zero, you really wouldn't expect it. But again, the competition's just fierce. It's so close and it's so hard to say. And, Los Pepes, it's just only a team you wouldn't expect to see 2-0 the first day. But I feel like they I would love to see a rematch between them and Team War, because they beat Team War to qualify to even get here. Then they beat them yesterday after being down such a huge deficit. So I'm curious to see about that squad, just furthermore, how the results are going to look like tonight for them. Because, already taking down Team War and Team Hot Tub Time Machine, whatever.
We should take it the Hot Tub Time Machine.
Why my brain keeps thinking that. I know it's a movie, but it's like, oh my gosh, I can't take it serious. Hot Tub Meta. But I'm curious to see how Los Pepes matches up against some of those titans like Elevate, like Amelia Slays. So Strays, not Slays, Strays. So I'm just curious to see just further on, but like you said, it's just so hard to predict because this game, it's just, I don't know. It's so exciting to watch, though. I love this Call of Duty, and just with our old favorites, like you said, standoff and back into rotation, which we have yet to see, but I have a feeling week 3 we're gonna see it. I have a feeling, Ton. Just hang in there.
Yeah. Hopefully next time we come on, these guys are well versed in standoff. Of course, next week we will be continuing things here in the regular season. We've still got plenty of games to come tonight, though. Of course, the next game coming up is going to be Oglis against Los Pepes after this one does conclude. If we haven't got another game to, of course, jump into, and then, of course, we jump over towards the North American region where we have some tasty games as well. And then, obviously, another week to wait. We'll continue the regular season. Then week number 3 is where the business end comes in. Of course, we will see those playoffs. We will crown a winner in Europe and North America once again. I have no clue who it's going to be in either region, to be frank with you, Ellen. I really don't. It's very difficult to say right now, and it always is at the beginning of the seasons. Of course, metas do change, teams change. It makes it very, very difficult to predict. I mean, teams change more in America. Usually is that the case, actually. I say that. There has been quite a few changes in the European sides, of course, but you know, it's the fluidity of the Challenger season, isn't it? It's always changing, always adapting.
I agree with you. It's fast. And I mean, sometimes it keeps us on our toes because we're constantly like, okay, who's this team again? Okay. Right. I agree. But I mean, those players, they just want to shine. They want to make it here. And the qualifiers, it's not easy to make it through. Some of our favorites are even sitting out now. So I just from both regions, like you said, it's just so hard to say. NA, I can't even... I don't know, because you look at Easter and you think, okay, they should start off hot, but they didn't. And I think the only one consistently that has been a team for more than a month, let's say, is Elevate. So that's really, I guess, compare it. We just look at how long these teams have been together over the players and the names, I guess. Really, it's just that chemistry is really a big factor.
You know, Elevate were, if you were to pick one team in this European side Elite Challengers for Season 4, you probably would be looking at Elevate realistically, wouldn't you? I think if you were to put your money on anybody at this moment in time, it does seem like Elevate are really the ones at the top of the table. But look, it could be a difficult one to sort of ascertain. I'm really looking forward to seeing this next game between Oglis and Los Pepes. Oglis beating Mavericks 3-2 yesterday, but then losing Elevate. Los Pepes beating Hot Tub Meta 3-0. And then, of course, Team War 3-1. So, are we reading too much into Los Pepes to beat the teams who are both at the bottom at 0-2? Oglis beating a difficult Mavericks game inside to get a hold of, and of course, Elevate losing to them. It is going to be super interesting, game number 2, but we still have the rest of this series to play out. Are we going to see something to make it a bit more interesting from Hot Tub Meta here on standoff? God, it's because I want it so badly. It's checkmate control.
You're thinking about it. Oh my goodness.
Day and night.
Day and night. Team War on the attacking side. Journey. Not a bad opening pick with the 2 kills there. Can he get the third on to Joe? No, he gets taken down, but Yako trades him out. But now Team War over on that A site is... Looks like Metals and Yako are onto the point, and the fights are coming in over here. B. Nolson. Kind of dancing around with Lucky there, but he's gonna think about... if his teammates can get a couple of kills here, maybe he can start up a spawn trap, but defrag not able to connect on shots onto Yako as Team War did capture A. Now the battle's really going to come down to B.
Yeah, with Nelson sitting there as well, obviously you can see where Team War are spawning. It does kind of keep them away from B, so I don't hate the positioning, and I don't hate what he's doing with it either. 3-0 now. It forces them as far away as you can possibly spawn them when it does come to that B point. Metal's caught with his pants down in the middle of nowhere. He's going to get flanked eventually, though. Nelson will fall, but a really, really good job to keep them back there. It kind of put the lives remaining a little bit closer because Team War are the ones just about in control of that. They got playing control as well. But nobody on the point right now. Hot Tub Meta controlling this one nicely when it comes down to spawns.
Lucky. Just making sure his base is cleared out as Nolson takes him down from underneath the plane. Good shots coming in for him. Now Journey clearing up Joe there. Now their base is completely cleared, and now they have to figure out a way to take this B point. But Hot Tub Meta, I like how you pointed that out, Ton, is just the fact that they have the lives very, very close. Looked like it could have been that lead could have taken away from them, but nice stick onto Nolson there. Team War just still trying to figure out a way to capture this B point. 50 seconds left on the clock, and Joe doing a very fantastic job at locking down this plane.
Hunter have just made it really, really awkward for Team War to make this push. Journey's going to find a kill on the Joe inside the plane, though, and that's going to free up a little bit of room for Team War to move around in. Defrag surviving there is crucial. It's a good gunfight win for Nolson, who really has been at the forefront for Hot Tomato on this defensive side. There's 2 down on both sides of things as Team War answer back, and that's a 2v4 for Metals and Yako to burst this round wide open. Progressive B starts ticking on through. That's 1 tick, and Metals knows exactly where they are. Joe in the plane, he's already tagged up. He's already called out. Is he going to expect the push from Nolson as well? Metals continuing to survive. And my goodness me, if he'd made that kill into Joe, it would have been something special. But he's a big reason as to why Team War are 1-0 up here. What about this from Metals and Yako?
Yeah,
that's a disgusting guy. Look at that, Chal.
That was crazy. There's literally rockets coming out of his gun. But making a statement here today, Team War. Metals yesterday on that raid control that they played against Los Pepes. Not the best performance out of him, but not a bad start. Not only leading up the series 2-0, but the map on checkmate here. 1-0. Hot Tub Meta is going to have their backs on the wall, but now on the attacking side, we're going to see that fast push towards A. Shots, fights come down. Metals managed to take out Joe, but now that's 2 down for Team Wars. Nolson, good shots onto Yako now, is going to push forward and patiently wait for Team War to push this lane as he takes down Metals, and now Lucky gets the trade. But still almost remaining that capture on, but they did get a tick of progress at A, and now Journey looking to be a nuisance in their base, and now do the same thing to them in that fashion. Trap Hot Tub Meta into the corner of their base.
Difficult now for Hot Tub Meta to make this push. They need to get a hold of A. Of course, already 1 tick on that. And they do have some sort of plane control, or did, at least anyway. Just an awkward play from Lucky once again. Kind of slips the net, forces them away. Forces them to the B side when they then run into Journey. Himself and Yako finding kills. Hot Tub Meta in a rough spot here. Lives remaining are relatively the same though. Problem is Hot Tub Meta really haven't made a great deal of progress at all, and Joe's going to get caught off guard. Hot Tub Meta are going to pick their way out of this spawn.
Yeah, that constant pressure coming in from Team War, and you can see Yako. Take a look at number 1. He's just in their base, roaming around. He takes down Joe. Now Defrag gets that trade onto Yako, so now their base is cleared. 19 seconds left. They have to figure out a way to attack this A site. Nolson looking to move on forward. Does get taken out by that nade. That's unfortunate, but 7 seconds remain. This is going to be sticky as Joe gets the kill onto Yako. Now, shots come in. Manages to get out with his life, but the nade, again, tagging up Metals, clearing off the point. That's a 3-streak for him. 1 second remain. Team War, again, take it on the defense. 2-0. And this is looking like it's just getting stolen away from Hot Tub Meta right now here, Ton. This is just, they're back against the wall. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to claw their way out of this, but
yeah,
they're going to have to turn up now.
2-0 down on checkmate control. Not ideal.
And especially when you say, too, the defending round is the round to win, right? So they lost that the first time around.
That was one where it's just a flurry of kills at the complete wrong time come through for Team War, and then that round very quickly goes over towards them. You know, if you're Hot Tub Meta, you look at this and it should be 1 apiece. Very close rounds in Search and Destroy. It was a close hard point. The 3-0, if it does come through, maybe doesn't tell the whole story, but Team War being very solid, and while they're continuing, there's 3 down now. Nolson, the only one left, and now B is surely got to be in the sights of Team War. They actually choose to go for A. I think that's just due to the fact that Metals is pushed all the way up here. D-Fry gets set down there, and all of a sudden, look at all the kills once again coming through for Team War. Hot Tub Meta just haven't been able to do much in this control. 17-8 from Journey. Just causing absolute havoc. The fact that he's even in wood here just makes it so difficult. The fact he nearly kills 0 there.
What?
Kills starting to come through though. Hot Tub Meta do crawl back into this one.
Yep, I was gonna say they managed to save A, but Team War did get a tick of progress there, and Joe pushed up a little bit anticipating these lane pushes here. Zero gets a couple of kills, and he has the help from him. And now push from A Street comes down, and Metal takes down Joe, who could have been a nuisance, but they still have Zero to worry about. Metals takes him down now, and now their base has been regained, and defrag holding this plane. There's only 27 seconds left remain on the clock, but ultimately it's still Team War. Seem to have a little bit of advantage. Joe gonna have to rotate over to this A site as Team War is just easily capturing it, but
well, they've kept them away. It's been a solid defensive hold in the end from Hudson Meta, and with Team War you have to throw everything at it, but there the 2 kills are going to come through, and that is surely going to extend the round. Maybe Hudson Meta, do you try and get a hold of this here? Maybe from underneath, playing potentially. Sort of 2 birds with 1 stone, defending B as well. Defrag had no right to win that gunfight. A is now being secured though, so the round will be extended by a minute. That means it's just over a minute. My goodness, I mean, Defrag is walking through bullets right now. Look at this from him. Fantastic stuff, and he's a real big reason as to why Team War being pushed right back. Lucky though, can he find his second? Not quite. Now the kills may start coming through in the spawn. 8 lives remaining on either side. Make that 7 for Team War now, as the game will surely have to slow down.
Yeah, well, it's only 40 seconds left. Defrag blocking that plane in, and Lucky trying to desperately get the trade. Now he has Journey there to help him work this plane control, but down in lives and the time is in their favor. Defrag with a huge 2-piece. Ultimately,
no right to get a hold of that.
I was gonna say you can't let that happen, but still 3 to 5, 17 seconds left. This is very doable.
Oh, Joe, he does find the kill, but Nolson will find one on the metals. It's all of a sudden a 1v4 for Journey. Oof. He gets beamed. So there you go. There's a defensive round for Hudson Meta, but they do have to do the difficult part here and win the attacking one to stay in the game. Considering how bad that was looking at one stage, though, for Hudson Meta, they did so well to bring it back.
Yeah, I agree. Back's against the wall and the pressure's on, but it was really good pushes there from Joe and Zero. I would say that kind of trickled the domino effect as they just were aggressively trapping Team War in their base and really kind of just took that live advantage away from them. But now on the attacking side, backs against their wall. Just 1 round away for Team War to solidify the win here to win 3-0.
Good opening break would be nice. If you had some mana. Look at the plane control coming in from Team War, though. They're putting a lot into that, and Lucky just finds some good shots on Olsen. And there, here comes the collapse from plane. But look at this from Defrag. He really has been getting things going in the past couple of minutes. 17 and 19, but some of the kills he's found have been ridiculous. However, Team War are going to clear them out. That first push does not come through, and a lot of map presence now. Look at this from Journey. That's an SMG in his hands. My goodness. 23 and 16 on checkmate.
Wow, Hot Tub Meta looking to be in a very, very scary position, but just like you said, Defrag would be the one to maybe open it up a little bit, but Joe, let's see what he can do. Just gonna kind of rotate over to that B site and maybe work this plane control, and he has Yako to worry about there. Almost looked like he was gonna get the kill, but Zero. Let's see if he can answer back, but Yako with a huge 2-piece in plane. Now Defrag left alone, gets taken down, and now 23 seconds left. Back against the wall, neither sites are captured. Hot Tub Meta really gonna have to work together fast if they're gonna capture this. It's only 14 seconds left remain, and the bush is gonna come in towards B site.
It's going to come in towards B, which is not the easiest to capture. You just pause things up and maybe transition over. You need to win these gunfights, but Journey finds 2.
Oh my goodness.
That should surely be the game. If you're Hudson Meta, you got nobody really close enough. Defrag maybe needs to make a run for A. He's already dead. Nobody from Hudson Meta close enough, and that will be a 3-0 for Team War. They get themselves a win on the board. 3 games is what it took. A really good performance from Team War, it has to be said.
Yeah.
Just very, very solid on the slaying side of things. The S&D, they clutched up when they needed to, and they take the series 3-0, Brycey.
They certainly do. Well, we were asking the question who would come out on top in the end between the 0 and 2 teams, and it turns out Team War have finally got themselves a win here in Challengers Elite. Hot Tub Meta, great name, not having a great time though, and I'm sure lots of frustrations in that camp moving forward. Already a pretty bad start for them. It can be redeemable, of course, right? We've spoken about this before. Ton, you love to bring up this example a million times a second. You always say, hey, we've seen a team before that has struggled in season and gone on to win it. Is that a realistic possibility here?
With the names on the roster, it's not completely out the question. We know how good a lot of these, well, all of these players are. They've been around for a long, long time. It's their first foray into Elite Challengers. Well, not for all of them, but for themselves as a team. It is for a couple of the individual players, of course. But the caliber of player, you shouldn't be putting it out of the question at all. Has to be said, I don't think that 3-0 is completely indicative of what we've seen in this series. You know, the first map was pretty close to Search and Destroy. There was a few 1v1 wins from Team War. If it goes the other way, then obviously it's a very different Search. Okay, the control was not necessarily one-sided, but comfortable for Team War. It definitely could have been a 3-1 or even a 3-2. You would kind of call it a fair one. But yeah, it's unfortunate for Hot Tub Meta, but they need to try and claw something back here. They now have very difficult games coming up as well. Team War is one of the ones you want to try and be winning realistically, and it's a tough spot. You've got very, very difficult games coming up.
Yeah, it certainly is. I suppose context matters as well, right? A 3-0 against Team War is actually a lot worse than if they've been 3-0 by Elevate at this point, and with difficult games coming up, it's certainly a big uphill battle for them, but not out of the realms of possibility. On the other side, though, Ellen, of course, Team War looking very comfortable, very confident, I would say, in the way they were playing.
Definitely. And just compared to yesterday, they weren't looking like the Team War squad that we know. And just the changes that they made from yesterday into today, you can clearly see in their gameplay, they're playing a lot more comfortable. That Search and Destroy, we saw a lot of team trades. We saw a lot of team baits. And even in that Control, we a lot of aggressive pushes, and it seems like their gameplay hasn't necessarily slowed down, but as opposed to yesterday, things seem to be falling apart, specifically in the raid Control, where they weren't necessarily putting up the best performances. So today, looking like a new squad and moving forward, hopefully that level of progression will just still continue to flow. And like you said, they don't have a really easy road. Now they have to play Elevate. So really how they match up against them, I mean, today is a very important day for Team War, as they were on the verge of just not having a single win under the belt. But now just being 1 and 2 definitely makes the road a lot easier for them.
It certainly does. Well, I always promise extra games on the broadcast if we can get them, and that game did finish a little bit early, so we have the opportunity to jump over to another one. It will be Amelia Strays versus August. This is how it is currently gone. Checkmate Hardpoint was August 250 to 176, but Amelia Strays won a very tight S&D 6-5. Then August fired back into the Control on Checkmate, does mean that currently August are ahead as we head into the Hardpoint on Raid. So many things to unpack here, bearing in mind August obviously with a slight team change. It's always going to be weird for me not to see that team now without Josh in it, but at the moment going okay. On the other side of the coin, of course, Amelia Strays, our winners from last stage, had a change as well, and it hasn't seemed to be working out for them. So we will see exactly what is going on with these two teams. I believe we're about to jump back into it. This will be Raid Hardpoint. And of course, our wonderful casters will bring you all the action. Tan and Ellen.
Yeah, I was thinking, what wonderful casters have you got a hold of to help out with this one, Bryce? Self-depreciation.
He's not going to respond.
No. You know, I was actually, I was mugging myself off, so if anything, I would have thought he would have at least laughed, but never mind, here we are. Amelia Strays need to bring this one back, and this is an interesting one. Both two teams with very different seasons in Season 3, but both two teams having to make one change. Gizmo coming in for Josh, of course, and of course Wardy coming in for Nuke J on the side of Amelia Strays. Yeah, it's going to be strange to see this August squad without Josh. He's been in since the beginning of the season. Gizmo coming through. He's very much a promising talent, and it's something that Vortex, Steve-O, has always brought to the table. He always likes to play with some of the youngsters who are up and coming. Gizmo is one of those, and he's one of the finer ones in Europe.
Yep, and Gizmo just previously, who was playing with House Tarth, and just like you said, definitely not a bad player to pick up for sure. But this Orgless squad, I definitely expect to see him coming out with some heat because I know just yesterday they reverse swept Mavericks, and time again this squad has just pulled some upsets. But now having the lead, Orgless looking to fight through the back spawn here as Amelia Strays does have control over the hard point, but Stevo or Gizmo. Stevo. Steve, I almost said Gizmo. Stevo! I don't know why I thought of a particular show when I saw that name.
It's Vortex, don't worry. It can get confusing.
Looks like Orgless here ultimately kind of fighting to the back. Not necessarily having the spawns, but gonna have to worry about that garage shield as Amelia Strays once again is set up. Now having the lead change in their favor, Orgless is gonna look to break the spawns here.
They possibly be able to as well. Nasty with the kill towards the back is huge. Piero now only one here for Amelia Strays. Orgless with the lead, and it looks like Orgless with the transition over. He's done well though, Piero. He's kept it going for quite some time. Nasty gets him under the car though. Now Orgless looking to try and get some control. Vortex inside of Jim though is not going to be able to find the kill. The trade comes through, and all of a sudden Nasty should be very dead. How's he found two? How's it? What is that? How's he found the third on Chaxter?
Oh my god.
I hope that's the best play. That was disgusting, and it wasn't even from Nasty's angle.
That has to be. That has to be. But now solidifying the spawns, Orgless, another lead change in their favor. Suck up all of this hill time, and Amelia Strays decides to just chalk that up. They don't need to push it anymore. They don't want to lose this pool spawn. It's very, very important. But now, Orgless is going to make their way through this kitchen, and Vortex here has Chaxter to worry about laying on his belly, but Gizmo there for the trade. He's now left alone, and he's going to have to wait for his teammates to flood in through the front. But Amelia Strays set up very tight-knit onto this hard point. It's going to make it very difficult to do so. Now Nasty, shots come in from Laundry. That was a good play from them.
Oh, they're still spawning towards the back. I don't know if Nasty would have expected this.
Yep.
Oh, he has done. He's getting them going down the hill, but is he expecting them towards the back? Not quite. The rest of Orgless trying to make the push. Good shots from Wardy. Piero helping out as well. Orgless really haven't been able to do a great deal here, but Harry has done fantastic. Piero answers back in turn. It's been well fought by Orgless, just trying to contest as best they can. Stevo finds two. Nasty gonna fall. Vortex finds a third as well and breaks it open with Nasty all on his own. It's gonna be 10 seconds going over towards Orgless. And as we said, Orgless with a very disappointing season in Season 3. The change-up seems to be working so far, though. So we head over towards P5. Good shots from Chaxter. We've really seen this man look absolutely unstoppable in the finals. In Season 3 specifically, he looked so good. And they're trying to lock down P5 here.
I gotta worry about Vortex, who's pushing through those pool stairs, but he has his teammate there for the trade. And now Amelia Stray is ultimately still spread out across the map. It's locking down to this point as Harry's desperately trying to get this raid control, and he has help from his teammate there. He gets taken out, but now the flood's gonna come in through. Orgless is... Yep. It really just feels like Orgless is just kind of getting the scrap time, yeah?
Yeah.
That's just me, but...
They just seem to be picking up, bits that they wouldn't expect to.
Yeah.
The rotations are coming in are looking strong from either team. Well, that is not necessarily the strongest shots from Nasty I've ever seen that. Let's see the P1 setup. Orgless, after the first rotation, have a very slight lead, but it means very little when it does come to raid. Look at those shots from Harry. Not quite good enough to get Orgless through there, though, is it? Let's see. Vortex trying to push onto the point. Can't quite get himself through. Watson going to be taken down by his own teammate. Nasty now on the point. It's just the context that comes through, but good kills from Chaxter. And Amelia Strays in control of the point, in control of the spawns. Expect Orgless to hit the mid-map by the looks of things.
Orgless is just going to have to figure out a way to break this yet again. But at this point, looks like they're going to probably just chalk it, work their way towards the mid-map, and take a look at Harry, number 7 on your mini-map. Yep. Already pushing through that back pool, and now they have spawns for new. But Chaxter Have a heartbeat as he takes down Steve-O. Can he get the second? No. It's Orglis who solidified now the spawns for that P2, but Amelia Stray is still getting that laundry spawn. This is going to be a very important battle for Harry as he takes down one, manages to get away with his life, and he has the help of Vortex there on the flank as he takes down two. Gonna get the third onto Watson. He's still alive, managing to fight away with his life and goes for the challenge, and Watson takes him down. Can Harry get the cleanup here? Because that's a very important kill to get. And now it's Amelia Strays who's spawning out, and Orglis still holding on to control.
Vortex is feeling it today. Nicely done. And look, going back to what happened in P1 there, Amelia Strays pushed maybe just a little bit far out and allowed Orglis to get that back jungle spawn. And it's kind of resulted in what's happened here, which has ended up being a very scrappy hill. Wardy finds two with the grenade, though. Finds a third. Can he find the fourth? Not quite. The final kill goes over towards Gizmo. Orglis going to be in the lead, but heading over towards Garage is going to be a good opportunity for Amelia Strays to set themselves up here. Piero in the middle of P1 as well towards the statues can cause a problem, and they need to get rid of him first. So difficult when you're spawning this far away. You've got people to get rid of in the middle of the map who are just causing constant issues. Finds another as well. Eventually they get rid. But that's going to be, what, 15, 20 seconds of completely free time for Amelia Strays. Here comes Steve-O through the front door, though. Chaksta, very weak. Chaksta, very dead. Now the push from Orglis going to come through. That's 3, 4 dead. Very nice break from Orglis. Amelia Strays just can't hold it.
Beautiful break from them, and that's always the worst when the ammo runs out of the gun. But Furio trying to break back. Orglis holding on, but Wardy fighting through the front. Gets a two-piece, but again, it's just Orglis who just still hold on. But now, once again, they're going to be fighting for this back spawn here, as you can kind of see the two-man push through kitchen, and then you have Gizmo who's going all the way around that laundry side. Push comes through. Chakster takes down two now. Very important kills, as they're going to probably spawn out. Get that front pool spawn, and again, you still see Gizmo just waiting there, being patient at laundry side, waiting for his teammates to get a couple of opening kills in the front, which happened. Now, the gunfight's coming in through the back. Watson able to take down Gizmo, still solidifying the spawns in the back pool area, but Orglis need to figure out a way to break this if they want to remain control.
They need to. It's very much about these rotations when it comes to Ray, but here comes the break. Chaksta, is he going to be the first to fall? Yes, he is, but the contest is not even just there. It's a complete control here for Orglis, although the kills have come through from Amelia Strays. Can they break it back? There's one, there's two. Piero's the only one to answer. There's 3 and 4. That's a 2v4 hold. How has that happened if you're Amelia Strays? Rotation over towards P5, though, is going to be there for the squad who are behind, around 40. 10 seconds for Orglis, or 45 needed for Amelia Strays. They can still win it here, though, but both teams can.
Amelia Strays just turtling on that hill, easily get picked off. That's it. Yeah, they just got picked off easily by Orglis. Now there's only 8 seconds left. Orglis on time. Chakster trying to dodge around these nades, figure out how if he can slide in there just for the contest, but 2:48 now. Amelia Strays managed to break on through. Again, the trade's flying back into Orglis' favor, and there you have it. They take it in a very dominating fashion, 250 to 215, and man, it just really felt like Orglis was fighting constantly for the front, but they really ultimately just always had that scrap time.
This is that moment from Nasty. It has to be. So he found one under the cart. 3 of them on top of him here. There's one. 2. Shouldn't find the second. How on earth has he found that third? That is ridiculous from Nasty. And that actually managed to get them time there, Bryce. And obviously winning the series as well. What a game that was out of Orglis.
Yeah, it certainly was, and it bodes well for Orglis starting off the day with a win, of course. They're actually one of the teams we're going to see in our next game as well, so a little inkling into just how they are currently playing and how they continue forward. We knew it'd be a good game. The other thing about this, of course, Amelia Strays not doing the greatest job ever, which is an interesting turn of events after how dominant they were last season as well. But so many more games to go here on Trans Elite, of course. Everything still to play for all of these teams. And of course, our schedule for this evening. Team War already have taken down Hot Tub Meta in our first game with a swift 3-0. Coming up next, though, we did talk about this just a second. Los Pepes versus August are about to go to war. After that, of course, we will have our North American region, Trash Bros versus Built by Gamers, and Nemo versus Easter. And I will say, there's been an awful lot of kind of weird fortunes going on in some of these Challengers Elite games. Teams we thought were going to do amazing and should be all the way at the top. People like Amelia Strays, not doing great. People like Easter, by the way, who we didn't get a big chance to talk about yesterday, had a terrible day, even though a lot of people's favorites coming into this. So nothing is ever certain in Challengers Elite, Ellen.
I agree. Nothing is ever certain. And, you know, you just mentioned Easter, and I just still can't believe that the NYSL Academy team's not here. I mean, essentially they made a roster change, and both that player that they had dropped or that left, I don't know the specifics. Don't quote me on that. Spart, he's not even in the league. So, you know, you just look at that and you think, man, it was so unexpected when it even comes to the qualifiers, and you just never know what you're going to get when it comes to these seasons. So just like we've said multiple times, it's hard to determine, it's hard to predict, but these games, either which way, they're just so exciting to watch.
They certainly are. And of course, we have more games to come, including our very next game. Don't go anywhere, because coming up after this break on Challengers Elite, we will have Los Pepes versus August. So we'll see you right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Call of Duty Challenger's Elite. My name is Bryce and we're bringing you even more action from our European region. Joining me, of course, to break this down and commentate, Ellen and Ton. Ellen, how are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling fantastic, Bryce. The sun is out today. Team War won a game. I couldn't have asked. It's just been a beautiful day. Couldn't have asked for a better day.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. The sun's going down in England. Ton, how are you?
It's been down for a while, Bryce. To be honest, I've been sitting in darkness. And we haven't had a sunny day in quite some time either. It's been pretty rubbish here, Alan. So I'm kind of with you on that one. I think it's been the wettest May in recorded history in the UK, which is quite something, if anything. But, you know, I'm good otherwise, though. Other than the weather report, yeah, I'm decent, Bryce. Yeah.
All right, well, now everybody at home is caught up with the weather. I suppose we should probably start talking about the game we're going to see in just a few minutes' time. Los Pepes are going up against August. August, a team who we had the very fortune of seeing just a few minutes ago, and they got their first win of the day. Ton, here are the maps, of course. Checkmate Hardpoint, Moscow Search and Destroy, Checkmate Control, Garrison Hardpoint, and Miami Search. What are your first thoughts on this matchup?
Oh, you know what my first thoughts are. August were the team I'd spoken about, who I knew that they were potentially going to bring standoff in, and they haven't done it. They might not have been allowed. Somebody might have actually just banned it out, to be fair. But at the same time, we're not going to get to see it in Europe this week at least anyway, so I'm immensely disappointed. Other than anything else, though, Checkmate Hardpoint, I'm not too surprised to see that in there. I know August kind of like Raid, and from what I've seen from when they have played it, they've looked really good on it. Obviously, just what we just seen there on previously against Amelia Strays. So a bit of a surprise maybe not to see that one in, but we haven't seen Miami in quite some time actually. So interesting map set, not necessarily the norm, I would say, Bryce.
Yeah, I was going to say, we did seem to be getting into a little bit of a groove with what players were kind of locking down. We saw a lot of Raid
Moscow
usually.
Express.
None.
Raid in there a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and now we've got no raid, nothing. So we'll see how this one's up going. Ellen, how do you feel about this matchup?
You know, you look at Orgless, right, and you think they haven't necessarily made a lot of noise in stage 3, right? And going into stage 4, you know, we have Gizmo on the roster instead of Josh, and that's just kind of surprising to me. I'm not gonna lie, because this squad has just been together. They've made a lot of noise. Obviously, they were champ season 2, so looking into this match, I don't know. I feel like they're gonna come in hot, because just coming off of that win against Amelia Strays, they were looking really good with that roster change. So going into this season, I just really expect them to make a lot of noise, and I just expect that. I mean, we just saw Vortex popping off, and he just seems like he's having, like Ton said earlier, the day of his life. So I really think that going into this, they're gonna look really, really hot, and I can honestly see him taking it right here.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be a really good matchup, and you are right about not seeing Josh in there. I think when you speak about August as well, you're so used to seeing him, and I believe, you know, one of the probable reasons behind this switch up is after the XM4 meta shift into the Krieg and everything, they just haven't really found their form. And obviously, you know, they're trying to kind of revitalize here. The team's gone through a few permutations and trying to figure out, you know, how to be consistently the best. And I think that's a reason between a lot of these, right? Is doing well is okay, and we'll say, hey, this is a great team. They're top 4 or they're top 3, but when you're a competitor, none of that really matters. If you aren't coming first most of the time, you want to get a change in, Tom.
Yeah, and look, they didn't look good in season 3. It was easily their worst season of Elite Challengers so far, after being in the 2 finals in a row, obviously winning one of them. They really have been probably one of the more consistent teams outside of Elevate. So to see that bad season, it isn't surprised to see a change up come through. And I wasn't too surprised to see it be Josh. I think, you know, this game has kind of went into very fast pace, and as you mentioned, the XM4 meta was really something that since that change-up has been there, they really haven't necessarily been at the races in the same respect. So giving Gizmo a chance, I spoke about it during the game. Vortex, as the captain, does like to bring in players like that, does like to bring in young guns and try and mold them into a player that he needs on his team. Gizmo played pretty well there, but honestly, it was Vortex going off, it was Nasty going off against Amelia Strays, who are a hard opponent. And just to really touch on Los Pepes as well, they had a good day yesterday, but they just lost 3-0 to Mavericks. So does that kind of put them back a little bit, where people maybe hyping Los Pepes up a little bit too much yesterday after who they beat? Who knows? It's a bit of a difficult one. I'm kind of leaning Oglis in this one after what we just seen against Amelia Strays there. It feels like they're kind of getting into their rhythm, but it should be a very good game.
No, I can see that as well. I think it's interesting to see how these teams develop, obviously, because, yeah, you're right. If you make a big change, then you're going to be expecting better results. And you are right. There was a lot of hype around Los Pepes yesterday, and people thought, hey, is this team really going to push forward? Because it's not one of the, I want to say, they're not the most established name in Call of Duty at the moment. They're certainly not people going, oh, you know, they've made it or they've not made it. They were kind of on that bubble here where if they made it in, say, oh yeah, that's great for them, but they weren't always expected to. So a big starting challenge as elite for them was like a lot of people raised eyebrows and went, hey, actually, this could be another Amelia Strays sort of thing, right? Team we didn't expect fully to make it in. Could they go on and dominate? Obviously, that hasn't happened. Already a loss to Mavericks. Ellen, where do you think that sits Los Pepes now then in terms of benchmarking?
I think like it's just, this is going to be a really important game from them because, I mean, going 2-0 yesterday and then potentially being 2-2 today, I mean, that's going to lower them, obviously put them lower in the standings. I mean, I don't know the statistics on it, maybe 5th or 6th, but this game is just going to be really important for them. And looking on the squad, I'm going to be looking at Torres to really pop off because yesterday seemed like his SNDs, he was getting double-digit kills. And, I mean, he had a huge 1v3 clutch and with the bomb down against a team. So he's probably going to be the player to look for that I'm going to be specifically looking at just to really kind of turn up for this squad. And even so, too, the Hardpoint against Team War, they were down 85-204, and then they came back, turned it around, and then they won. So they have some sort of edge and sort of some momentum on the squad, but they really have to just fit those pieces together right here in this map just to have an advantage here in the leaderboard.
All right, okay, well, we'll see if that ends up happening. I suppose, Tom, I better ask you, who's going to be the key player on August then, if we're highlighting Torres on Los Pepes? Who are you thinking?
I'm thinking Nasty. He's looked really, really good every single series we've seen. I think he's honestly one of the best players in Europe, and he's one of those guys like a guy like Afro who is in that spot to make that jump. Obviously, we've seen last year he got the shot in the Royal Ravens, but then obviously the whole coronavirus thing happened. So I mean that kind of got thrown out the window a little bit. He is a player who definitely could step up to the franchise level. He's unbelievable. Him and Harry have been a fantastic duo together in this squad, always putting up the numbers. I think putting in a Nasty. I think what he did on Raid in that garage Hardpoint specifically was disgusting. So the fact that he can just pull off that kind of play becomes a danger for absolutely anybody. And I'm interested to see if we continue that kind of form heading into Checkmate. You know, it's a map we are expecting to see big numbers from him and Harry specifically. I think if they can play well, this could be relatively straightforward for August. They look a little bit more like back to that form we've seen in Season 1 and 2.
Well, I think that's the hope at the very least for this team. And you are right when you talk about Nasty. He is certainly a player we've highlighted a few times. I do say one of the biggest tragedies is obviously the fact that we never got to see him in the franchises, right? Like we talk about this a few times when we go through Challengers League, say, hey, essentially this is the scouting pool for some of them. And I'm sure he's on many players' radars. I'm sure for the coaches and everybody else, they're keeping an eye saying, hey, we get the opportunity, we could pull him in. Wouldn't surprise me to see the Ravens, you know, have a think about it if they don't improve their fortunes. They've gone for about 1,000 players so far this season anyway, right? Like, what's one more tryout for them as well? But they're not the only team struggling or looking for that extra here. And we've spoke about this yesterday, right? But I always like to bring it up how important these games are, because obviously everyone just says, hey, they're competing against each other and it's the lower level of Call of Duty. Well, these are the next generation of stars. These are the next players you could see make a big impact, right? Think about everybody who's come up this year, like Insight, right? Nobody was entirely certain that he was going to change those fortunes. And my goodness, did he change Toronto's fortunes, right? We talk about the year of rookies. This happens to be it. And these are where these players come from. So, I don't know, I'm getting on my soapbox again for no real reason, Ellen, but I just feel very passionately about this.
Oh, no, you're absolutely correct. In which, by the way, Stage 4 starts tomorrow. I don't know about you guys. I'm excited. Make sure to do pick'ems. But yeah, these players, they just really going into this really need to shine because, like you said, who's the next player to get picked up? We don't know. I mean, just Toronto Ultra, you just look at them and like you said, they just had a terrible start. And then next thing you know, this Outbreak star Insight just shining in the Challenger League. It gets picked up and then they just completely flip the script and are just a top team. So just that one player makes the biggest difference. And going into this, you just really want to do your best and take each match seriously.
You certainly do. Well, I suppose it's time for one last little foray in to talk about hard predictions for this one. We don't do it that often, but the game is just starting. So, Ellen, as you are going to be leaving us shortly, who do you think is going to win?
I'm going to say Orglis is going to take this 3-1.
Oh, okay. Bold prediction. Let's see if it plays out. Thank you, Ellen. It will be me and Ton commentating this one. Of course, we are going to get into Checkmate Hardpoint as our very first map here. Los Pepes versus Orglis to throw down in a best of 5. And let's see how this one is, in fact, going to play out. Ton, who should we jump on board with first?
To be honest, I'm interested to see Los Pepes and see what they can do in this game. It's a bunch of players, you know, we have heard of them ourselves throughout Europe. You know, Ku or Trody as well has been around for quite some time. Torres, we know, obviously, previously in Season 3 was in and amongst this elite challenger side of things in Europe. These guys have got a tall order on their hands here, though. Orglis, you know, you don't know what kind of Orglis you're going to get until we do get into the season. So far, so good for them, though. 2-1, only losing to Elevate. They're looking for that second spot. Elevate looking to be very much solidified as number 1. But so far, so good for Los Pepes. It's a good start for them. The ARs are going to need to be on point because these ARs of Orglis are fast and their shots are crispy. Los Pepes with a good start, though, 18-0, and it is looking like they are going to be able to lock things in. But speaking of crispy ARs, Harry coming in with 2.
They are there. I thought it was a bit of an early challenge from Steve-O. You need to stay alive a little bit longer, but it does play out in the end, of course. Now we start talking about P2, and Harry trying to lock it down himself. His teammates aren't there, and they're getting the bad spawn, but it doesn't matter. It's all spawning out at the moment. The problem being is that August actually are going to have to fight. Wait a minute. Did Steve-O just spawn at the back?
Oh, he did?
I think he did.
Oh, I looked away for just a second, and oh my goodness me, yeah, he has spawned there. In the end, I mean, it's cost them a few points, but not too much.
That was a crazy spawn coming in there. I was so shocked I had to double check. Or if I just missed Steve on the mini-map. But you are right, it doesn't really make the biggest change for them other than a slight delay in allowing August now to push through. They are going to be trying to put the pressure on here. Nasty goes straight in and first. It's going to be taken down. Gizmo, though, getting the trade coming through. And you can see them fighting tooth and nail. Only 20 seconds left as August line up the kill feed. And they will get a few points because of it. But now we're talking about P3.
We are, and Nasty is the one top player now, I would presume. Fusion's now going to get choked out towards the back. Nasty finding one over towards P3 as well is going to help Orglis make that transition over. Kill's going to come in though. Fusion, Abuza, and Torres all combining well. Harry's the only one able to answer back. Los Pepe is definitely seemingly on the ball here in game number 1. Watching the cross as well. Nasty's going to fall. Gizmo is quick to react though. The ARs here of Los Pepes, we said they're going to need to be on top of things, and well, there you go, 11-4 out of Torres. He's a big reason as to why these points are accumulating here for Los Pepes, 65 and counting.
Well, going to try and hold this one off. You can see pressure coming in from Harry. He does manage to get it, of course. Lots of players around this hardpoint will now be challenging, but it is, oh, Nasty with a shot punch in the end. And now as we move into that long street, you can already see both teams posturing for position. Of course, many people like to face this from Woodside. Get the spawn next as well if you can. The teams will be trying to get a little bit more control for it, and August will do exactly that. 3 down for them now. And they're going to try and solidify this before making a push through.
It's got control of the right-hand side of the map and control of top plane. It's just a flood from Orglis to try and push through. Very close game number 1 here. It's unfortunate Harry can't move any further backwards because of the pillar at the side of the wall, and Abuza will pick up another kill, make that another for Fusion as well. And Trody following up with another. It's been really good from Los Pepes so far. A really solid outing so far. Holding it down as well.
I think August are probably just a little bit annoyed they weren't able to get a trophy into a nook there to try and hold it down. They probably would have had a better time holding it. But now they have an option. They realistically need to punch through this and try to get the spawns for next. It's not going to be easy. All advantage to Los Pepes, coming off the back of Torres, who's almost going to hit a 20 bomb at this early stage in the game, Ton.
He's had a fantastic start. Streaks on top of that would be the cherry for that. Oh, good shots from Steve-O. Try and line something up, but my word. Look at that from Torres, absolutely beaming. The rest of the team, I mean, what do they even have? Well, okay, just about as many kills. A couple more combined together. Torres is 22 and 9. Scoreline is starting to extend in Los Pepe's favor as well due to that AR presence. Streaks now available for Torres as he does eventually fall, but damage is potentially done here. Look at the spawns that are there for Los Pepes. Look at the points on the board for them as well. A fantastic first rotation out of them, and the artillery's already been called.
Oh, looking to just solidify their lead even further along, but I think Torres probably thinks he'll get another one. Considering how he's playing at the moment, it's not out of the realms of possibility. 25 and 10 as we start talking about moving back into P1, and August have been pushed back every single step of this hardpoint so far. Los Pepes, they were hyped up yesterday, and I'm certain after this one, many people will be hyping them up again.
I was just thinking, though, after that loss to 3-0 to Mavericks, you kind of feel that, yeah, all right, Los Pepes, maybe the hype has died down, but how is Torres finding that gunfight as well? Another 5 spree. Shots through, landing, just spraying down the hallway. Can he find another? Surely not. He's going to run out of bullets shortly.
He's going to run out of streak spots. You might have to bring this one in. If a teammate can cover him, just bring it in. He's probably going to get another kill. He's got another kill. He is only a tiny bit off. That's a 7 streak. He had an 8 streak last time. He's 30 and 10. How do you even contest against this? As he continues to just throw bullets down. Eventually, Steven gets the 2-piece to knock him out. But the damage has been done, ton. 178 to 63. Los Pepes are making August look clueless.
This is so good from Los Pepes so far. But Torres is the biggest reason for it, though. He's been locking down the lanes, finding multiple kills. Guys like Harry and Gizmo need to get back on it here, because they're being outgunned by one man so far. Torres towards the back this time can't do anything. That's a big kill from Harry. And there's a good 60 points up for grabs here for Oglis. Streaks coming in, though, and this is the damage that you've caused, unfortunately, if you are Oglis, and he's just holding it. He's making them get off the point. Well, that's 5-6 seconds that have been wasted, but Oglis hold it down whilst that is going on. 4 streak for Stevo, 4 streak for Harry as well. Maybe can build on streaks of their own.
Well, you can see them still continue to do the slaying out here. Torres is going to be challenging.
Oh, wow.
Not able to quite get Stevo, who just gets out of there and eventually ends up picking a kill. It will still be August in control here. And I will say, they've brought this back at least a decent amount. Nasty starting to heat up as well. Look at the streaks going on from August, doing so well. I think Stevo's now playing for his own streak. Yeah. Could this be a full reversal, as August seem to have found a way back?
He's just found another kill. I'm curious if that's put him over the line. Yes, it has. Torres towards the back as well. Not going to expect it there. That's 8 in a row from Stevo. Shot's going to come in from play, and he will eventually get shut down. It was just the pressure. It was just being an absolute nuisance in the middle of the map. We say that, though, and all of a sudden it's 4 down. But August pick up nearly every single point on P2, but now they have the streaks to play with to try and get them back into the game. Torres did not use his well. Stevo with the 1. Tries to bend it around the wing as well. Can't quite get it done, but here comes the collapse from August. Now, let's see where anybody is here, and he's going to get taken down. Nobody able to really contest that. Nasty and Gizmo do combine to find kills, but it's mostly Los Pepes still. Torres continues to rain hell on Oglis. 33 and 16. They're about to break 200 points here, Bryson. I mean, Oglis have made it a closer game, thanks to the streaks that popped off in that P2 rotation. They aren't going to be in a good spot for P3 here, though, as well. This game's still got a lot of life left in it.
Well, I can already see, this is exactly what I was talking about, trying to get this spawn, not just for this coming uphill on street, but also for wood afterward, and that is something going to be needed, but Stevo gets stuck. Just when you think Stevo's turning it up enough to come back into this game, not going to be quite able to. Torres has slowed down, which at least has allowed August to breathe. But realistically, they still are going to need a good hold on this next street and punch through the spawns. It's all Los Pepes to lose now.
It is. Can they hold this down? Troy finding a kill. 11 and 23 out of him is not what you want to see, but if he can find a couple of important kills towards the end here, it's not going to matter. He will not care. Oh, 60-point game or so. Which way these kills going to go? It's Torres again, causing absolute havoc in the Oglis camp. Abuser now trying to make the push through. How's he found that second kill? That might be it now. Los Pepes not quite in the driving seat, but they're so close. Trody there to trade it out with the final kill. They can't quite win it here on P4. But they're pushing Oglis back. We're heading over towards P5 in a second. Los Pepes in control here. They need to start rotating.
They certainly do, and August were throwing everything at that one. That's why it was so fast and furious. They just weren't able to get the trades done. Problem being is now they don't have the spawns. This is a hard break if you don't have the positioning for it. Gizmo could be the key player. Already says Toros, gets him off. Harry gets another one, and now it's damage control. They have to figure out, August, how to punch through here and try to get into position, because they don't have it quite yet. They have managed to get onto the point. Gizmo makes a massive kill back plane. The streak's now coming out. The spawn's now coming out for them. Gizmo eventually going down, but Fusions and Abuser have closed this one. Steve alive onto the point is not able to get away as he gets cut to ribbons. And with only 15 seconds left to go, August are scrambling once again.
Yeah, they have to go, and they have to go really quickly. That spawn out kind of worked in Los Pepes' favor. If anything, it developed the pinch, and all of a sudden it becomes easy to hold. Fusion challenges the grenade throw as well. That might be it. You got 5 seconds to get into the hill. Fusion defending from the front. Is anybody going to be able to touch it for August Los Pepes? Map number 1 victory, and a comfortable one at that. What a performance out of Torres. My word, how many was it in the end? What, 40 or so? Makes it so difficult for August to do much.
Yeah, and I got to say this. I think Torres, that first part of the game, they really needed it as well, because you could see how much August were fighting back in the second half. Especially when I said, you know, Torres slowed down. I think at one point he was 30-10. Well, I'd love to see exactly what the stats were for him at the end of that game, Ton. But yeah, dominant performance to kick things off. Couldn't be touched. And then people like Steve-O, I think, and even Gizmo at points and Nasty were just trying to fight back into it and make sure they didn't completely get wiped out of the game. And they did a really good job. You know, they've got the streaks back into it, trying to get to the P3. The biggest places they struggled were probably on street and towards wood, just not able to get any real impact in that stage of the game.
Yeah, it was difficult. Very, very difficult. And there was just a lot of plane control was going over towards Los Pepes as well. It was just always the fight for that. There was always somebody there to disrupt. That final kill on the trade would always go over towards Los Pepes. It would develop into 20 points, and then, of course, the lead develops further because of that. Just a very, very good performance out of Los Pepes. Just a good slaying performance, really. But August, I mean, you have to look at it. They found their way back into the game with that P2 rotation on the second rotation of hills, the second go around, but just couldn't turn it into much else. I mean, the streaks on this game, you know, they're not as influential as they have been on previous titles. But like that kind of kill that comes through from Torres and just lining up multiple shots through the wall. Even if he isn't finding kills here, damage down, information is what he's gathering. And this was the moment where we thought August would come back. They did so well to hold this. From there, it just, if you're Los Pepes, you just need to be scrappy with it, and that's what they were, and they walk away as winners. Very well played.
Yeah, they did, and like I said before, right, I think the key difference was the first half of that game was all Los Pepes. Like, they got so far ahead. The thing was, it was only really Torres who was just gunning everybody, even like and some people say silly tactics, but it's just kind of a weird tactic of just spraying. The fact that he picked up extra ammo, obviously from Kriegs laying in and around the plane, just spraying, just kept dumping clips down range, ended up getting in, you know, almost got double streaks for it as well. But yeah, I will say I think first half was definitely Los Pepes. I think second half you could make a very strong argument to say August were certainly better. Problem being is they just didn't have the spawn control they would like, and then that caused them to actually be a bit more reckless. We saw it down A Street. They kept flying in like absolute lunatics. They made the kills. Unfortunately, they just never made quite enough.
Yeah, it was always just, as I said, that final couple of kills here and there on the trades didn't go in their favor. And it makes things very, very difficult to pick up those points, but that's a good start for Los Pepes. And for me, that's made the series very, very interesting now. I honestly thought, after what we've seen from August in that game against Amelia Strays, how they've been playing so far in the Elite Challenger Series here in Season 4, I was thinking, okay, they're probably going to march. I was even going to possibly predict a 3-0 the way that they've been playing, but that's quickly being curtailed. And as we head into Moscow Search and Destroy now, they find themselves behind, and we'll have to claw this one back.
Yeah, they certainly will. Let's see if August have anything left in the tank, or is it all Los Pepes? Only time will tell, and of course the scoreboard. But I'm curious, Ton, about how you think this one is going to go. Do August have a bit of a regain here and have this locked down?
Well, let's wait and see. I honestly thought they were looking fantastic to take map number 1, but I was completely wrong on that front. And we know the Search and Destroy of Los Pepes yesterday was solid. So this is going to be an interesting one, but Miami is one that has different sets of tactics you can play. It's not just a one-dimensional search and destroy map. So let's see what the teams can bring out.
Well, at the moment, bit of a slow push here. Torres playing this wall jump that if you ever play a bit of League play, you usually see a sniper on here and you'll hate them to the very depths of your soul, but it's a legitimate tactic when you're trying to get a bit of information. Abuza will get first blood, and that has caused a shift here. You can see Los Pepes diving now for that B control, trying to get a plant down.
Control is there for Los Pepes, and that bomb will go down. 3v4 retake here for Oglis as well. Not ideal. And I feel as if Torres is going to catch some people out here. Yes, he is. There's one. He should get traded. Or not.
Apparently not, but not a great situation here for August. 2 versus 4. 1 versus 4 for Nasty. And down they go. Los Pepes open up the S&D. Very much continuing their winning streak so far in this series. And they just seem to have a little bit locked there, to be honest with you. That first blood, they all clicked into place and just pretty much instantly committed.
Very assertive strategies out on Los Pepes. Into round number 2 then we go. Genius.
Well, I don't advise doing this to your car at home. But on this game, it can work out to give you a bit better views. And that's exactly what they're using it for here. Again, slow and methodical, these two teams. Harry actually setting up. So him in this position says to me he's playing the position I like to call hook. You kind of wait to see if the other team will react to what your teammates are doing. But just look, it might be an escalator push. So they're now going to go for it as well. Nasty tries to see, they see Torres on the shoulder there. 2 of them are gunning them down. And now they've got control of A site. Flying out here as well, and that is going to be an excellent push into it. But Nasty's going to push forward and says thank you very much. 1v4, they're all going to push forward. Steve-O and Abuza. And I was going to say there, I didn't think they were going to continue to push. Abuza could have picked up a few kills. But now that bomb's down, they know where he is. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah, this is a very difficult scenario, but I really like that from Oglis, the double peek from escalators to try and find the player. Abuser should be dead momentarily. And Oglis get around on the board, and that's kind of what opens things up. As soon as that player falls, escalators is completely lost. Look at this. You can see they're getting each other's way a little bit with the aim. Gives him a couple of bullets in. I believe it was Harry next to him as well to follow up.
Yeah, there's something about team shooting. You pretty much just die instantly. You only need 2 bullets from each gun and basically an eye blink, but good comeback from Auglis. That was a very great execution from them. Clearly practiced when he saw the stack ready for go escalators, but they collapsed on it in devastating fashion. Now, though, the attack coming in from Los Pepes. They're going to try and get onto A, or at least get some information. 2 players here waiting for it. As Torres just does a hop, skip, and a jump. I think Gizmo trying to actually move forward. He's going to find Fusion, but not able to get enough bullets onto him. And now you can see him backing off here, and you've got to ask yourself, are Los Pepes going to commit again? You can see Abuza is trying to watch out the street. You might find Steve-O here. He's banging him through the bus stop. And now, control of B one more time. Is it going to be Auglis who can get in position, though?
They are trying. Harry finds the shots towards the back, but I love the initiative from Los Pepes. They get forced out of A. They run to be very, very quickly, and I think Auglis don't expect it to happen so fast. Bomb not quite going down yet. Time is ticking as well. Look,
no way.
Ran out of B. Oh my word. I absolutely love that. Auglis are literally going to be looking for people inside of B for the next, 5 seconds or so. A's don't. That's it. Imagine.
Like rats escaping a sinking ship. They went,
absolutely
no, out we
that.
go. All pile out the windows. And Auglis probably were like, where on earth they go?
It's a hard retake. Really is. It's up to Nasty to try and find something. Torres is going to find one. Can he get traded by Harry? Yes, he can. 2v2. Oh, shot's going to come in. Nasty. Nobody watching the flank. But is anybody watching the re-flank from Fusion? Oh, he's in a good spot. Not good enough,
cut
though.
down. I'll say Auglis
Not
played
good
that
enough.
so well. Harry managed to get that kill towards the back alley. Really paid off for them in the end. And Unfortunately, that reflank didn't work out. They didn't commit to the bomb, which is probably what he was hoping. Get a pick and get away. Just not able to do anything for it. And this was it. Nasty ended up finding the player in the corner, the optic corner as it has been known. And that is when their defense completely collapsed.
I mean, you've got to surely think that there could potentially be somebody on the flank. It's easy to say when it's already happened, I suppose, but at the same time, it's not irregular to think that that could happen.
Well, August on the attack one more time. And this is a very fast push into A. Only Torres here to defend. They have Eskies open at the moment. And they're looking to get control of it. Even a pre-fire coming into them. Now they're going to be pushed on. You can see the players from Los Pepe spreading out. Does he get a hit marker there? He knows somebody's back alley now. Steve-O doesn't know whether to commit. Look at the spread out here. They're not even committing to a bomb plant at the moment as they have no idea where Los Pepes are. But there's a big push coming through. Fusion finds Gizmo, but Gizmo stays alive. That is so crucial here if he can play this off. As he comes around the corner, Gizmo shuts down one of the flanks as well. But Ku takes down Nasty, and it goes back down to a 3v3.
Momentary lapse there as well as players are going to get out from Los Pepes. They know where Gizmo is because of the way he found the kill, and that's going to be the round of Los Pepes. Nicely done. It just comes down to that first kill coming through at Eskies because then Ogles start turning around. Okay, where's not covered? And all of a sudden, Los Pepes, they find a gap in the defense. And then the dominoes just fall after that. 2 apiece, and it's been a very entertaining game of Search and Destroy so far. Clean breaks coming through for both teams after some good setups seemingly being there, but this is the one. Torres being able to push that so quickly. That's what opens things up, and then it is just a formality from there. Nicely done.
And there was a chance, you know, when Gizmo managed to take down that player L, I thought, hey, at least their flank is secure. They can now concentrate on it, but unfortunately, there's just, when it's a 4v4 like that, a lot of the times there's just too many places. You can very easily be pulled about if you haven't managed to push out both sides far enough. Unfortunately, that was the case there. They just weren't able to kind of lock it down enough where they wouldn't be pulled in different directions depending on what kills happened. And Los Pepes capitalized on it. They got in some good positions, ended up getting the round here. Now they're going for mid-control. Oh. Harry, though, with a great takedown to begin with. And it does seem like that slowed all the pressure.
How has he found that kill there? Absolute beams from Harry. And now it's whoever blinks first, to be honest with you, Ricey. It's a slow setup, a slow push, potentially, from Los Pepes in one direction. Looking like a bit of information there, though. The shot's going to start coming through. Steve-O is very dead. Oh my God.
Not just a regular amount of dead, but very dead. And so is Nasty now as well, and it will be Harry and Gizmo. Got to get this one back, but Torres has seen him, but Gizmo wins the gunfight. 2 versus 2 between them. Can Augles crack this nut? Los Pepes, is that going for a very long flank? Where on earth is Fusion going?
Big flank. It's a big tasty flank. He's not going to find a lot of information, though, and Abuser now should get traded out. Oh, where are the shots? How are they not landed? Gizmo finds one, though. Can he find the second? 3-2 Los Pepes. Where's the trade? Get the trade. Oh.
I don't know. That I feel like Harry didn't hit him once. I feel like that was I thought it was a guaranteed trade. Just didn't work out. They just didn't hit him. That's going to be gutting here, but Los Pepes get away with it. We get that long flank. Didn't really come into that much of an issue there, but got him into a better position to pick up that last kill. And now Augles will be trying to redeem themselves.
It's a long flank, but the longer he stays alive, the more... That's some beams there from Gizmo, but the longer he stays alive, the more difficult it is for the other team to try and defuse the bomb, right? So I suppose, you know, the long, safe flank is never bad. It's if your teammate goes down whilst you're doing it, that's the issue. Here we go. Gizmo's going to open things up towards B. Really nice shots once again. Nasty will get this bomb down, and a bit of a weird situation here with where the players are placed.
Oh, well, okay. Nice gunning from Nasty. Harry also bringing the fire. Koo going to be left alive in a 1 versus 3, and down he goes. I'll just bring this back to a 3-3 now. Both teams executing very well, I should say. Does seem like it seems more successful over at B than A at the moment.
Surprised to see, isn't it? You know, it's one of those maps that doesn't really have a more dominant side. You say A maybe like 60-40, you would say, is usually the hit. But B is not one you would see a lot of teams concentrate on solely. But yeah, Oglus do seem to be having a little bit more look over towards that side, but so do Los Pepes.
Wow. Let's see if they can break this deadlock. Who goes up here? 4-3. Los Pepes will be hoping it's them. And this is a very standard setup for them. Torres playing for information. Abuza holding down street. Actually going to be making a push. Now, we have seen them manage to get a first blood from this man before. And it may be the case they're waiting for him to see what exactly information he has. And he goes for the fire, and Steve-O is there. And now they do have numbers. Big fire's coming down. Gizmo will get the first, though. He's going to be pushed. I think he heard him as well. It's not going to be good enough. Koo managed to get another kill onto the board. 2 versus 3. But Los Pepes do have A site control, Ton.
Yeah, it's massive that Gizmo's able to find a kill. It's all on his own. So the fact that he had 3 pushing him and he finds at least 1, okay, that's great. The information's there. You know where the players of Los Pepes are. And for Oglus, it's about the retake, and they were predicting Torres would make that push. Harry, that's not the best grenade I've ever seen. Steve was the one from Escalators. Yeah, it's the one from Escalators. Steve will find that. Now Torres in a 1 versus 3. This will be one of the first times we've seen Oglus take a lead here. They should be able to get this done. Steve-O's going to fall, though. This becomes plausible. 1v2. Nasty. There for the trades. The defuse will come through. 4-3 now to Oglus. Much, much better from them here.
No hesitation from Nasty either. Flies out. Could have gone badly. Didn't. And that will pay off for them. Oglus, of course, looking to try to get this one back in this series. Currently losing 0-1 against Los Pepes. And I'm sure that we want to get their win from earlier, considering Los Pepes come off a loss as well against Mavericks. I would love to have seen what happened in that game, considering how hyped up everyone was about Los Pepes yesterday.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's kind of just how things would kind of transpire in your mind. Okay, well, Mavericks, you would expect them to score mid-table in this whole thing. They 3-0'd them after Oglus beat them yesterday. Kind of like, well, okay, well, you would expect Oglus to win that one if we're using logic, really. But sometimes logic is out the window in predicting Call of Duty matches, Pricey. We know this.
Yeah, you can say that again. But here comes the push now, and look at this. Full A control for Oglus. They've had this before. I wonder they're going to push straight through. They're going to go for the B push all the way around. Torres is here. He's going to have to try and get out of it. Ends up going down. But now they've cleared it. They're going for the A plant. Taking all this side of the bomb site. And this is a much better position for them now. Numerical advantage, bomb down, and control.
Yep, and I think Gizmo spotted one towards Escalator side there. Here comes the peak. Lovely. Very, very well played. Views are now in a 1v4. That's clean from Oglus. 5-3 now. It's been quite the resurgence. They were 3-2 down, if I remember correctly. That's 3 in a row.
Wow. I mean, it's been pretty clinical, actually, from Oglus the last couple of rounds after that disappointing round with the no trade. And I'm starting to think that Oglus have trying to redeem themselves off that first hardpoint. Gizmo, though, been so instrumental. Those first bloods he's managing to find, and the pressure he's absorbing from anything Los Pepes can throw at him has been pretty spectacular. But look at the mini-map, Ton. Here goes a big combination.
Oh,
both
God.
teams about to flood straight into A. It's all going to go down. Harry and Nasty get the first 2. Gizmo flying out for that one as well. Torres now under pressure. Gets 2. Trying to get out of it. They're going to fly at him. No. They have restrained themselves for just a second as he goes round. He finds Gizmo, but it's not quite enough. Torres almost pulls off the 1 versus 4, but the trade does come in. You can see Torres furiously backpedaling as he gets 2. No player flies at him in an L, repositions, and he could have had this Ton so easily. Nasty, fortunately, on the ball and shuts down what could have been an incredible clutch.
I think that's one of those scenarios for Oglus. If you look at it, you've got to hold a bomb. Yeah, like, kind of just chill. Although you sort of give them that opportunity to get away and maybe find themselves in a better spot, so they go for the aggression. It kind of works out in the end, but that was quite squeaky both time in the end. For Oglis, they take the search and destroy though. Very well played over the latter rounds there. They just seemingly had their number, Los Pepes. So very well played. We've got ourselves a tied up series now heading into the Control. And a much more interesting series than we were necessarily expecting. Look, we were thinking this was going to be, well, not one-sided, but comfortable for Oglis, but we definitely do have a series on our hands. Heading into this Control as well, which I do believe I'm going to hazard a guess. Actually, I can't remember what one it is. We're not going to try and guess it, but honestly, Oglis just worked the picks really well in these last few rounds and kind of just used their advantage from there, Bryce.
Yeah, they certainly did, and it was anything they were actually getting better as the S&D went on and winning so many crucial gunfights. And I don't know, I think they just wanted to kind of redeem themselves after the Hardpoint and say, hey, you know, it was a little bit shocking for us just how much Torres kind of wrecked us. But no, you got to say, right, First Blood's so important. If you get a player like Gizmo who basically plays solo and goes straight and gets them, it's going to work out for you. And also the fact when he absorbed that pressure as well on A, like, it's insane how difficult it makes attacking in that regards. Like when you lose a player for an A push, because you just don't have the ability to kind of hit everything you want to.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult, but Oglis just played super well. Just very well played across the board, and considering they were down 3-2 and then they bring it back with 4 rounds in a row there, it is impressive, and they will be feeling good going into this Control. We just didn't see as much from Torres as we've seen in map number 1. He was definitely super influential, of course. S&D is a very different kettle of fish, of course, but at the same time, it wasn't necessarily the performance we've seen in map number 1. Very difficult to do so against a team like Oglis on Moscow, though, but heading into checkmate once again, you've got to say it, you'll probably feel as if Los Pepes will be feeling pretty nice about it after what happened in map number 1. They know they had good play and control, etc. Can they do it again here on Control? It is very, very important. We should be loading in shortly. I don't know which way this one's going to go now. Oglis will be feeling probably the more confident after getting that one under their belts, but Los Pepes has shown in the Hardpoints we're at least going to see another one of them that looked very, very good. So, I've got a feeling we may be seeing the last map here, Brycey. I'm feeling them in bones.
Oh, you're feeling in Miami?
I am feeling Miami. We haven't seen Miami in a while either. So
that is true.
Let's see.
I'll tell you something. I'm feeling Oglis here. I think the momentum of that S&D, by the way. I'm thinking they're going to take this Control. Whether or not they hold it the entire way through, I don't know. But I feel like checkmate Control, even though we did say, you know, Torres doing ridiculous in the checkmate Hardpoint, Oglis did look like the better team in the second half. Even if the points didn't really reflect it, they just weren't able to kind of break the setup that they lost on P4 and 5. But I am going to stick my neck out. I think Oglis end up winning this Control, and let's see if I'm right. On board with Steve-O to kick things off.
It's going to be the usual A hit coming out from Oglis to kick things off, you would imagine. Gizmo with first blood. Control over towards A. Just giving up playing Control here. Oglis quite happy for Los Pepes to get a hold. Nasty. We'll find the kill up top here as well, so they got a bit of everything here, but alright, Evil able to easily push through, and that's the trade's going to come through. He is stopped from being captured. All of a sudden, Los Pepes is in total control.
They have finally managed to push them back, and Abuza just trying to stay alive desperately here. Managed to do so. Here comes another push, though. Oglis trying to get some more playing control through it. Torres now taking the place, but Narcissus has gone down, and Torres knows where he is. This is a little hole in the defense of Oglis, and Torres is looking to exploit. Finds Harry. Instantly gets that kill. Now looking for anybody else as he tries to make a nuisance of himself. Hasn't played out. Second tick going down on A, as Ku is also going to hit a flank.
Through. Oh, we can't find a Nasty. That is disgraceful. How quick does he move around there? He is going to follow the rest of the team here, though. That should be A locked in. Los Pepes look at the controller from the outside here. Steve are going to find another kill. This next flurry of kills needs to kind of go through for Los Pepes, but Nasty's got them lined up. There's 2 more. And all of a sudden, B controller is here for Oglis as well. Los Pepes falling apart over the past 30 seconds or so.
They have. It's been a very, very reversal of fortune. And now, playing control coming through. 2 players in here as well, trying to fight this one through office. Fusion gets it, and Gizmo gets back to Fusion. Gizmo now holding down the plane, sees Torres. Nades flying out at the same time, pushing with the Diamatti. Not going to work out at the moment. He knows this player is around him. Going to get him. Goes for the shot punch as well. And Gizmo is locking this down. I thought there'd be another shot punch, but there wasn't. At the moment, August in a pretty good position. Just going to absorb a little bit more pressure from Los Pepes. And they can look to start taking B again.
Surely with the fire here. Is he able to find it on Steve-O? Yes, he is. Good gunfight win coming through. Nobody able to establish much control here, and that's why we haven't seen August really make this step up to try and get a hold of it. But say that, they are on the point, and there is progress being made. 3 lives is the difference as well, so a slight advantage on that side of things, but Abuser is not going to be able to drop down. Can he find anything else? Kills being traded. It suits August as it's traded in their favor as well. Troy will find a kill on the offset of things, but August have the time to play their lives here.
And now they're trying to hold on. 8v5, but with a lot of time left into this. Los Pepes can't afford to lose a kill. It's still very doable for either team. They don't count anything out here. They don't even have a second tick at the moment. August on to B. Harry
August
playing
can
his
take
life.
their time.
Boozer gets another one. This is dangerous.
August can take their time. It is dangerous, but they can take their time. They find one pick. All of a sudden, you're in a 4v3. It makes things so much easier. Los Pepes, though, just holding on. It kind of turns into a game of search and destroy. Nasty is going to fall, as is Harry. Steve-O did trade that out, though, so it's a 4v3. 20 seconds remaining. Gizmo going to fall. 3v3.
This is the problem. You got to check every single corner and angle, because every time you lose a kill, it just gets a little bit worse for you. Torres, though, has been found. Steve-O finds him at the same time. Fusion trying to stay alive, dipping and diving, and now only a Boozer in a 1 versus 3. Knows Nasty's in the close corner, but there are players all around him. And August pull that one out of the fire. Went all the way down to a 3 versus 3 ton.
Massive. Very big round as well, because it's the attacking round that they take. And in that fashion too. Nasty had a hell of a time over towards A as well. Really well played there. Oh, it's a good start for August. A very good start for August.
We'll see. We'll see if August capitalise on this by winning their defense as we jump on board with Harry. You can see right now it's going to be a pretty standard start. They're going for A to begin with. Bit of plane control coming out of Los Pepes. And actually, a bit of a slow start from both teams, realistically. About the kickoff, though, as it looks like Los Pepes are about to try and execute onto A, as they've gone for full control. You can see already coming around the flank here. Fusions is close. And there we go. That is exactly what they wanted. Pick them apart, got onto A, got the kills, and have locked this one down pretty significantly.
Very nicely done. That should be A for Los Pepes, really. I don't know if August are going to fight against this. They may go from lower side of the plane. I think A is gone. I think August are just going to set up for some sort of control shots coming through, though. Is that going to be enough? Just about got them off. My word, that was close. And now they find a clean breakthrough here as well. This is potentially really bad news for Los Pepes, but they are able to answer back.
And this is the biggest issue you can have on this map. Breaking out of spawn as the attacking team. It is horrible. There is nobody who enjoys doing this, because it is difficult every step of the way, and all you keep thinking about is that timer ticking down over and over again. 29 seconds left here as they try to break out, and they haven't managed to do it. Even with the kill coming forward, they keep losing the bodies they need to get map control. Steve-O and Harry combining one again. Koo trying to make a play through plane here. He knows he has to punch a hole, trying desperately to find a gap in this defense. Koo still alive. That hasn't bought them enough, though. 10 seconds left, and this may be over for Los Pepes.
Yeah, this is difficult. And you know, they were so close to getting a hold of it, and then it turns into absolute nothing. It's a big win for Oglis as well. They don't really allow a lot to go over towards Los Pepes in terms of objective. Meaning that if we do need to see around number 5, then potentially it might go over towards the Oglis side anyway. But 2-0. They're in a really nice spot. Even if they lose this attacking round, they've got at least one more defense to rely on.
It all sits, though, on Los Pepes. Got to win 3 in a row. Got to lock this, and you know what? August probably going to be pushing to just end this right here, right now. Going to be feeling themselves. We jump on board them on the attack. You can see a big push coming straight into A. Different tactic from Los Pepes, who went for plane control before making execute. They've decided to go straight in for it. Nobody even in plane at this point. Gizmo trying to hold down emergency. Steve-O's pushed straight through, and Harry combines with him to completely blow Los Pepes out of control.
Yeah, good spot for them to be in now. 2 stack on 8. That'll tick up very, very nicely. Los Pepes will probably have another look at this, but it depends which way the kills are going to go. Good trade from Steve-O. That's going to chalk 8 up. Oglis now in control of the round. The kills coming through here as well, and Steve-O getting aggressive round behind. And this is going to cause havoc for Los Pepes now. Even if he could just be a nuisance, just find kills, and just make it so difficult for Los Pepes, this might be over.
Well, they've got to try and kill Steve-O because it can continue to be a problem. And they do just that. Los Pepes trying to rally here. Torres in a great position. He's going to have to try and do some magic work because all of his team have died. Joel goes in for it. They know he's here at the same time. Does eventually gun Gizmo and looking for that second one. Teammates trying to rally at the same time. Still be firmly in actual control of August. He's just not able to even clean house.
Yeah, it's slowly just getting in Oglis's hands, isn't it? Look at this now. 2 ticks. Lives well and truly in Oglis's favor. They have wiped the floor. Well, Los Pepes here. Checkmate. Control. Oh my god, Steve-O.
It's unnecessary.
What's going on?
That wasn't necessary.
Who's put a couple of pence in him today? My word. Look at this to close things out. It's like Black Ops 4 Vortex, that.
Wow. That is, like I said, it wasn't necessary. You didn't have to do this to them, Steve-O. You'd already won. You'd already won. Like, ridiculous. And obviously, you know, that was probably a more one-sided game than I would have thought. Like,
yeah,
the first attack was like, okay, that's their first attack. You know, it's gone very, very well for them. The defenses are given. Like, once they got into that spawn trap, you're like, this is a horrible position for them. Even though Los Pepes played very well, their first execute onto A looked fantastic. The second attack by August was the devastating one. They pretty much just continued to gun. Steve-O was a very important part of that as well. Basically, just refused to go down at any point.
Massive from they were just consistently pressuring, just playing control consistently. It just makes it so difficult. And then when Steve was finding these sort of flanks, how many was it in the end? 4, 5, and 6 would it have been to wrap things up. Massive from Steve-O, massive from Oglis to win that map, and now in the lead in the series. Looking very, very nice for them. It really is. And heading in this hardpoint, we're going to see another huge performance from Torres. Like we see in a map number 1 for Los Pepes to have a chance in this one, Bryce.
Yeah, I think so. And I have a feeling this game is over. 3-1 may actually end up being
Possibly
the final score, especially if that control was anything to go with. August pretty much just moved into a different tier. But, I don't know. You can never really count out a team like Los Pepes. I mean, they had a really good first hardpoint, of course. It certainly worked out for them. But as we go on to Garrison here, and you got Steve-O playing as well as he is, you would pretty favour August.
Yeah, it's a different map to checkmate, isn't it? Yes, okay, the ARs are important, but I feel as if your SMGs really can get a little bit more involved. Let's see what they can do here. Oglis to try and turn this one around, of course, and get the 3-1 victory, or we will be heading over towards Miami if Los Pepes can continue their hardpoint play. It was a very, very good game out of them in map number 1. But again, as said, those ARs are going to have to be fantastic to get themselves to that map number 5. Garrison is an interesting one, though. You would feel Oglis on this one, you have to say. It sounds like, Brycey, we are loading into it. Garrison coming up. Oh, I'm excited. It's been a good series so far.
It really has, and we'll find out if it ends up being settled here, of course. August looking to go 2-0 on the day. Los Pepes trying to go 1-1 as they lost earlier to Mavericks. That won't be a great day after them. They had a 2-0 the first day, 0-2 the next day. Just pretty much brought them out of that clouds they were in before, but
straight back down to reality.
yeah. Well, we'll see what happens here as we jump aboard. Steve-O playing slow in the vent at the moment. Now going for a contest. Waiting for a bit of reinforcement before he tries to do anything. Eventually ends up getting taken down. Nasty trying to hit jump up. But just can't find anyone. Basically, Los Pepes are refusing to engage. And it's working out for them. Now trying to still do it. Nasty checking everywhere. Eventually going to have to try and get Ku out of this corner.
Oh, Gizmo and Nasty have done well, though. Now it's going to be a break across the top of bridge. That's where you got to try and go if you're Rogueless here to get a hold of green control. But still 20 seconds remaining on P1. Harry is falling in the middle of the map there. Oh, very nice snap from Nasty once again. Use that up already. Waiting here over towards green. Survived the initial shots from Gizmo as well. Is eventually going to fall though. An advantage to Ogless over towards P2.
Problem is, I don't think Gizmo's going to take this pressure. Did a reinforcement for his teammates. I mean, he did a really good job actually there on that one to kind of take it themselves. But now with the spawns flipping out, Ogless going to try and make this push. Ku, though, continuing to be an issue for them. Goes up top, finds Gizmo. Oh, okay. I thought he found Gizmo, but apparently Gizmo had a very different opinion of how that gunfight was going to go. And now the pressure comes in. Here's the squeeze. Los Pepes trying to hold off all of the Ogless pressure. And it will be tired. He managed to get around the back. Gets two, but Steve-O will get the final trade. And I say that. Ku comes through one more time. Nasty up top. 30 seconds still left to play for on this one. And realistically, Ogless may have to think about giving this up for the rotation.
Once again, it's Torres who's causing absolute havoc. Steve-O trying his best is going to fall, and Nasty will trade this one out. It's been very scrappy so far, isn't it? Nobody really able to establish much control, but there you go. Ogless will get the final 10 points, but look at this rotation. There's actually one player in Torres there for Los Pepes. He falls, so Ogless have the lead. Ogless have the rotation.
Wow. Plays out pretty well for them in the end, and Torres could have been a real issue for them if he managed to stay alive, but ended up getting chased down. Here comes a big push though. Los Pepes now trying to make it through, but it's going to be Steve-O Nasty, who combined to just rip three of them, and that has completely stopped all momentum they could have had. Abuza eventually cuts him down to size, but the damage has been done. It's now going to be another Los Pepe push. Nasty already taking down Abuza. Now going to try it from the hard side. Ku going to go through vents. Doesn't see anyone here. Tries to get it, but Gizmo is on Overwatch and waiting for it. Torres tries to make a play here. Desperation hero play as he doesn't have the bodies to back him up, and Ogless have been clinical in defensive P3.
Yeah, they've been brilliant. They've locked it down completely. Confusion says something about it, though. Two found, but can't quite clean house. Still 10 seconds remaining. Ogless will put down some amount of points here, Bryce.
Really have. They were just rebuffing everything they thought they could throw at it, even when Los Pepes thought they might have made a little bit of a hole or a gap for themselves. Didn't work out. Now Gizmo sitting in vent, sees Fusion, says thank you very much. Come up there like a little shooting gallery. And is now waiting to see if anybody else is pushing. His team's now getting in position. Los Pepes need to hold this to get back into the game and tie it up. You see very, very slow the maneuvering of both teams as they look to either hold or execute onto this hard point.
Just a bit of a scrappy one once again, but Harry finding 2 kills from down low to up top green. And that's opening things up now for Gizmo to make this push. They're expecting somebody in the corner. Can't find anything yet. Torres is going to find Harry too. And is this the collapse from Ogless here over towards P4? It may well be. Only 20 seconds remaining on it though, Brycey. Not a lot to hold on to for either team. Los Pepes is the one with the side of spawns that you do want. As we head over towards P5 in just a second, Ogless have kind of been pinned back towards the side for some time. Not much able to happen for them, but nonetheless, Los Pepes have clawed back some of that distance that was being separated over towards P3.
This is exactly what Los Pepes need. Ku has been in great positions all the time, but now is on a 4 streak, and you can see he just keeps being an issue. 5 streak now for Ku. They're trying to keep going. That's a 6 streak now. And refusing to go down. Hasn't been an awful lot of ground actually gained, but he is gunning 7. Artillery already ready. Harry tries to challenge. Ku actually ducks out with 20 health. And obviously going to be looking for that next streak. I mean, it's not the most powerful thing on Garrison, but it's always better to have than not. And realistically, Los Pepes have come screaming back into this game off the fact that this player is just being ridiculous.
Again, it's made things really scrappy. It's been trading in the hill consistently. Oglis do get a bit of a break here, though, as we will be sending ourselves over towards P1 in just a second. But I said that artillery now available for Q. Gonna get going with it, but it seems as if Oglis getting a little bit of control over towards P1. It is Los Pepe is the one getting the points on the board. Shots once again by Abuser, and there you go, there's the break. Just seems as if the SMG fights, when Q hasn't been there and winning them, Oglis have just about been ahead. Finding these kills. It's a good one on Stevo, though, and the pressure is going to start coming in. Oglis in a nice little spot here, though. Bryce, you still have that good 50 or 40 points sort of buffer. That's going to be brought right down, though, as Los Pepes do manage to break through.
Yeah, this is all going to be about this rotation here, and last time it was incredibly scrappy. Oglis have decided this time to get a few more bodies in the area and lock it down sooner, but Ku's trying to make a break for it already. Booz is going to see Nasty. Nasty is going to have to just not take that gunfight until his health gets back up. And they need reinforcements, realistically, over at this next hill. Incoming artillery. That's going to break this setup straight away. It's not gone well. Look at the stack coming in. They're about to fly out of green. It's a target-rich environment. Nasty gets 2, but it will not be enough. They just do not have the bodies in the area to trade.
Really, really nice from Los Pepes once again. Pulling them around the map with the streaks available. Q, though, is eventually going to fall down. Oglis in a good spot to pick up 40 or so points here. Continue to put the pressure down to Los Pepes. Just choke this one up. It's seemingly, from the look of the map, not the case. Here comes the push now. Gizmo trying his best to survive. He's done so well to play his life towards the back here. Can't find the second, though. Fusion finds 2. Torres helping him out, I should say, in this race over towards P3 is on. It is Los Pepes' first one here, but can they get rid of Q? Can he stay alive towards the back?
Done a good job there. Stevo going down, and that should have given them the spawns. You can already see the spawn out coming in for Oglis, and this could be a full reversal. We saw how good Oglis were last time at holding this one down. This time, they've got the hard fight. They've got to try and break through the setup. Torres is going to be a problem already. Takes down Nasty, now furiously backpedaling. He knows players have just come out of green and are going to be round floating tank. He's just going to play this spawn here. He sees it as well, but Harry better with a shot punch. But still, a lot of time ticking away. Los Pepes are getting the time here, even if they are slowly losing ground.
They are. 35 seconds now. And they've somehow clawed this one back. A map 5 prediction might be coming right here, Bryce. To be honest with you, it was a stab in the dark, but my goodness me, Los Pepes have dragged themselves back into this one. Oglis now, they need something to go their way.
They do. Losing the lead after what was a fantastic start for them. And you are right, Miami does seem to be cooling. And Willie Oglis trying to hang up that phone. At the moment, they do have control over the next site. But it is a difficult one to deny this much map to a team as talented as Los Pepes. You can see Stevo just playing around vent and caution, trying to make sure nothing ends up happening to his teammates who will want to get onto this point. They haven't managed to do it so far. It will be Los Pepes again, lighting up that feed and getting control.
30 points in the lead now. Looking so good. The Los Pepes, who have really fought their way back into this one. Oglis just seemed to have slowed down. That kill feed, it was lining up white consistently. Los Pepes now really have dragged themselves back into this one. Q now. Grenades out. Shots in. Finds his way around. Nasty will fall. He's done so well to break through, and he might cause havoc over towards P5 here, potentially.
Wow, just pretty different game, and it was actually the reversal of the first hardpoint. In that one, you had Los Pepes doing great in the first half and Oglis doing great in the second. Complete reversal here. Oglis are now faltering in the face of Los Pepes. You can see Fusion trying to hold down the L. Throws a nade. Oh, I think that may have hit Gizmo pretty hard as Gizmo tries to back up, but he says, no, thank you. We will take you down here. Should eventually go down to the respawning teammates of Oglis. But Oglis are faltering. They don't have map control. They're not winning gunfights. And now as we come towards the end of this game, they're going to have to try and find another gear because they are behind. And it's not an easy position to be on Garrison.
It isn't. They haven't really picked up a significant amount of points in about what feels about 20 minutes, to be honest with you, Brycey. They've really been just scraping the barrel to try and pick something up, whereas Los Pepe is going to get good chunks of time every time they're being around a hill. Harry and Steve are trying their best to break this one down. Harry will find 2, and that's a crucial 10 points. Going to go over towards Oglis here. It'll be about a 15, 20 point game. About 20 points by the time we get over towards P1 here. It's actually more like 30 because they didn't pick up those final few points, just making me look like an idiot, Bryce. But here we are, and it doesn't take much.
Well, this is where it gets very, very important. August have to hold P1 and the rotation to P2. They can't afford to give either of them up. But Los Pepe just punching through into caution and making it just an issue of every single gunfight. Future now jumping onto this one as well with that 3-piece he just got. And August have to challenge it. You can see all the way at the back, Steve-O trying to do some work just in case they go to the next one. Contested here. And that's been contested long enough that we will at least see P2. Problem being is August are still going to try and challenge this one eventually. They do get some points onto the board. I wonder if Los Pepes will just go for the setup. You can see them already moving. Abuza is there. And it's now Los Pepes to lose.
Oh, it didn't look like Torres was going to win that gunfight, and finds another as well. 8 seconds going to go over that final little bit of time towards Los Pepes. They got the setup for P2. You're right, this is their game to lose now. You need a really good break from Oglis here now. And then you need a good rotation over towards P3 as well. You need the break to come quickly. You haven't cleared out breaks, so the shot's going to come through. That's going to be cute. We're going to map 5. That's it. That's done. Los Pepes are going to lock this one in, and we are going to see Miami search and destroy as Los Pepes force that map number 5.
Wow, Los Pepes just into the better Hardpoint team.
Yeah.
Refusing to give them even a look in here. And considering how that game started, August looked like the better team coming into Garrison. That swiftly was disabused because Los Pepes just started winning pretty much everything. I don't know, man. Like Torres Coup, they were just absolute demons on the map. They refused to basically give August any opportunity to actually get a locked-in setup.
It was kind of on that, was it the second rotation where the P2 to P3 worked out really, really nicely for the side of Los Pepes. And from there, they kind of just have that lead and you're rolling away with it. It's just 15, 20 points here every single hill and you're in a good spot. That's really where that map is won and lost. P2, P3, rotation 2, P2, rotation 2, P3 from that as well. Because you can string it up if you're very, very fortunate to find those kills and force them back. And that's exactly what they did. And obviously towards P4, really good scrappy player from Los Pepes, forcing the Miami search and destroy to come out of Oglis. And I will say last time around we did see Oglis on this map. I do like them on it, but let's have a little reminder of how that game broke down. Oglis they were a good chunk of points in the lead at one point there as well. I guess it was maybe 50 or 60. And for it to transition in such a way, maybe it's a little bit of a momentum swing over towards Los Pepes after that.
Yeah, I would say so too. They were just doing ridiculous work as we go through the replays here. And I'll be honest with you, it was such a kind of a fast and crazy game from both teams. I didn't even look at the kill feed, or not the kill feed, the scores for the majority of it. I don't know if anybody put up anything ridiculous. I saw Coup a few times go on these big streaks. You can see it 21-16. I would love to know what he ended up on, but it did seem like, even if I look at now, I don't feel like the slaying is massively in the favor of Los Pepes, but they just seem to be making more important kills, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it was that second rotation of hills over towards P3 where they picked up the majority of their time. It was where Coup was actually towards the back. He finds the kill, the rest of the team collapse, and they somehow keep a hold. I think they picked up a good 40, 50 points there. So that swings it back. You don't need to find so many kills when it comes to that one because I think Oglis, in that sense, they have to sort of take their time a little bit to make that push. It's not one you can just run at, is it? You have to take your time. You have to get warehouse control. You have to try and find the shots on the players holding the spawns towards the back and then through the front door at the same time. It's not an easy push, and I wonder if that's where they picked up the majority of their points without too much sort of battle back from Oglis. And, well, there you go. We're seeing the map number 5 here. As far as which way it's going to go, obviously I haven't seen much of Los Pepes whatsoever this season for the most part. Miami, I've always kind of liked the way that Oglis do play that. We're going to see a lot of purple control, we're going to see a lot of piano control, and they kind of try and dictate their defenses from there. They can watch A from there, and of course, by that point, if you're in that position, you've got control of B2. So expect a lot of aggression in and around the B site for map control out of Oglis, and let's see if Los Pepes can counter that.
Well, They won the last S&D, but will they win the final one? Because that's the one that counts. And if you're August, you gotta feel like that got away from you. Like a lot of the time we said, you know, for at least the first half, they were not only in control but winning, and were having a very good time with it. So going on to Miami, I suppose it's the age-old thing where we say basically map 5s are magical. And that's the easiest way for me to put it, right? Like you talk about map 5s, we talk about S&Ds. It has a very different feeling to it most of the time because of how much is usually on the line. Anybody could win it. Both of these teams deserve to, right? Los Pepes have put up great performances in both hardpoints. Not so great in the last S&D and the Control, but great performances in the hardpoints, refusing to be intimidated at all by August. So the truth of this is I really don't know who's going to win, and I don't even want to make a prediction. I don't see the point in making a prediction when I am happy for both of these teams to win it.
Yeah, and it would be a really good result for Los Pepes as well, considering how August have looked so far. It would be a dent to their top 2 aspirations, it has to be said. And looking at some of the other results there, actually, it would be a Hot Tub Meta actually beat Mavericks 3-0 in their second game of the evening after losing 3-0 at the Team War. So things are getting real mixy towards the bottom as well, making things super interesting as things get late on. Next week will really be the story of who's going to come out on top, of course. Everybody playing up all their games, 4 games a week for each of these teams. Of course, it's only 7 over the regular season, and then we head to the playoffs, of course. But here we go then. It does sound like we are loading into map number 5, which is going to be Miami, and well, it has been a very, very interesting series. I'm going to favor Ogless on this one, but really, it could go either way.
Yeah, it really could. I can see why you would favor Ogless.
We've seen more of them on it.
Yeah. It's a difficult decision either way, realistically.
Yeah,
like I said before, right? Both teams deserve to win this series. You are right. August did win the last S&D. But, I mean, ARs on this map, especially if they get in a good position, Torres is being lights out for the majority of it. And looking at the break now, we are going to be on with Los Pepes on the attack to begin with. And bit of a split here, actually, from this team as they look to probably play a very slow game.
It's the August aggressive defensive B. Yeah, the first one's there. And they just hold this, and then if they feel as if an A push is going to come in, which is why I kind of like what Los Pepes are doing. They're expecting the push from August to come out, but without information, are August going to make that misstep?
Well, at the moment, neither team blinking. Boozer puts a few shots down, and I wonder if the rotation will come in. Bearing in mind, Ku has the bomb, and he's going bottom purple. You see Steve at the top, and Gizmo's with him at the same time. That's now bombed down. Nate goes through it as well, and he knows a second player is there. That is disastrous for Los Pepes. They do not have support on this side of the map. Fusion can't even get that bomb and get out. This is terrible. This is the worst case scenario. They have to get into bottom purple with August knowing where they are.
You would have liked to see Torres maybe continue that flank. Oh, good shots though from Abuser now, but Harry and Steve are going to clean that up. It was very difficult there for Torres. He was the one that could potentially do something on the flank, but he's ran straight into Nasty. This would be some achievement for a 1v3 from here with 3 seconds to go, but there you go, August with a round number 1. And as I said, it's that purple, it's that piano control they like to go for. On defense, Los Pepes kind of fall into their hands a little bit there.
And I don't know. I think that first kill, right? Gizmo getting that first blood. It was just so crucial. I mean, the fact that the bomb was down, and then you got the hit marker to know somebody else was there. Los Pepes played an interesting tactic. I don't know if they were looking to rotate there, and if they were, why Ku went bottom purple, or how they were going to collapse onto it. It seemed like they needed to find that first blood themselves to make that strategy work, and then had nowhere left to go afterwards.
That's a big B hit from both teams. Look at the garage control from Los Pepes. 3 inside of garage. You don't see that very often. Usually going to back it up. I mean, Ku is not going to get shut down at all, and Oglis won't have a clue what's going on here, but they do still have the bomb. They can make that transition if they want to. They have pretty heavily committed towards B, though.
think now we see the rotate. If they get, the problem is they've got to keep an eye out and see who's watching from P2 or street or beach. They don't have any information on that side of the map. So if they go for the rotate, they could be running into a ton of guns. But here you can see Nasty Steve-O Fusion in this triangle of death. Trying to hold on to it. Nasty's gone close at the same time. Going to go through C2 as well. Fusion gets out of there. Nasty wants it getting one in. Steve-O gets the second. How on earth have they managed to break through?
Just a bait and switch, really. Harry's going to die towards Garage side, though. They need to get rid of Q, and they go hunting. They know one's towards the back. Abuser now in a 1v2. Still got his grenade available here.
Well, that's going flying out already. Steve-O's close as well. Neither wanting to commit to it either. They're both going to challenge at the same time. Surely, but no, Abuser gets one! Only gets ones. Tries to turn and snap. Just not going to work out. And they manage to break through here into B at a numerical disadvantage ton. August somehow pull this win out the fire.
That's a big one. Nasty obviously weak. Stays alive as best he can as well. Just really, really well played from Nasty. And it was Nasty and Steve-O who made it happen over towards that bomb site, and they're the ones that eventually do get it done. 2-0 now for Oglis. As Pepe's need to turn this one around once again. 3 over towards B. We can rotate and hold down A from that angle. And they've actually got control of... Looks like bottom piano there as well. Yep. Quite happy to hold that, and they just leave Nasty to keep a hold of it. Oh!
Long range Krieg action. Oh my goodness. Well, this round is kind of over before it started, Ton.
I'm telling you, Oglis are so good at this map. We just understand it. Understand the angles they can create, and, well, they've got guys who've got absolute beams on the team. 3-0 now.
Long range shots. And they line up for Nasty in the end. Could have had Torres as well, actually, after those first shots went in, but now I think he's 5-0 in this one, so yeah, pretty one-sided so far. Obviously, Los Pepe's on the defense this time around. I wonder how they're going to try and maybe change a few tactics up to figure a way back into it. At the moment, it's looking like a potential commit here. One more time to be for August. And I suspect we'll see Steve-O and Nasty duoing again as they go up top purple.
They played it so well last time. Why not? Surprised we haven't seen much of an A hit coming out of Oglis here. The AR battle has very much been in their favour, so let's see if they can do this again, though. Trophy systems there. Oh, who is that? Fusion. Just a lamp to the slow, though. Gizmo is ready and waiting. And that's now a 4v2. Oglis have played this so well. Nobody in and around B. It's a free plant. It's a 2v4 retake.
Very difficult retake considering just how well Oglis are playing. Bomb now goes down.
Yeah,
and Oglis will be trying to commit. I mean, you've got a player Torres coming in towards bottom purple, but it's not really a pinch if the players have a ton of room to breathe. And they currently do. Look at them watching every single angle for this. Torres goes over the wall. Down he goes. One more player comes through. There's the trade. Oglis walk away now. 4-0 in this S&D ton.
Yeah, this is pretty flawless, it has to be said. Okay, a couple of rounds have come down to the wire, but just every situation they get put in, Oglis seem to make the right call.
Let's see. It's got to be some sort of tactic coming out of Los Pepes here, but I don't know where they go, Ton. I don't know where they go. A did not work at all, and I think they'll be hesitant to go there again. Yeah,
this time around, though, Oglis are going to go for a 2-2 split rather than everybody over towards B, but when they do that, they get aggressive. Look at that. They're already past the A-bomb site. And if Los Pepes do not act quickly, they are in danger of being pinched. Streak's not in the equation quite yet. Trying to make this push. He was just keeping them at bay, and, well, can't do that for very long, but the Vice is just slowly turning. Bomb is going to go down, though, but it is a 3v4 for Oglis to try and retake.
This is a great opportunity.
Have done well to get that down.
Great opportunity to try and regain a little bit of momentum here into it already. Trade's going down there, 2 versus 3. Still an awful lot of work to do here. Harry is going to try and break into it already. Somehow finds a boozer. Time, though, is going to be their biggest enemy because they have to find these players and get the defuse. Already back alley going down, and Torres will get it. And that does mean that Gizmo pretty much can't do anything.
Yeah. Didn't see Q towards the left-hand side. Really nice from Los Pepes, because honestly, when you see those players converging in from the A side, you're like, all right, okay, this is a bad spot for them. But they find the kill at the Steve-O, and all of a sudden, it's very easy to plant that bomb because there's only 2 of them on the site. And then that pinch that was being developed, kind of, well, you're pinching into nothing. Everybody else dying on the site, very well played from Los Pepes, but the problem is that it's still 4-1 down.
Wow. Can the tide turn, though? And it seems like August this time will commit to an A push. It will be a boozer who has the opportunity for it. The best part of this is right now Los Pepes know there's nobody here. And they may end up pulling away from that heavy B. As soon as that information comes in, watch the mini-map react now. As soon as August make themselves known over at A. You see already 1 player going to watch mid-street. 2nd player coming through. 3rd player already trying to watch out, see if it was on the flank. But now it's looking much better for Los Pepes on this defense. August have been slow and steady. But that hesitation may have cost them.
Potentially. I'm looking about this fight that's in and around Hotel. Keep an eye on number 8, Harry. He's got a little bit more control of Piano now to stop anybody crossing over the shots from there. And they've got mid-map control now too. Fight's going to go in their direction. Q in a big spot of trouble, I should say. And, well, that's going to be the round. Very well played from August. I mean, they just pick them off, don't they? Yeah. Look, for me, in that scenario, what always tends to work is to push out of B. Try and get some control there. They've got to go hunting for Harry. If you get hotel control and the A push is coming in, it kind of makes it so you can pinch in there. You can go from 2 different angles on beach. You can watch from mid-map. Whereas they have that control of top purple, and they're backed up to wrap background to A. And I don't know if that's the play.
I wonder here if August commit more players to B, considering that's probably where they should expect Los Pepes to go. However, look at this. It's a big push down mid-street into front purple. Nasty and Gizmo combining.
Wow. And
they've just thrown it into an incredibly aggressive defense. And now Los Pepes are reeling. They don't have anything to kind of fall back on. Torres has managed to make his way off the garage, but he has no bomb and no teammate. His teammate is all the way over at curve. You can see him trying to push up here as well. Gizmo's just playing with him.
Fly at him.
Torres is having to try and backpedal here. It's now a 1 versus 4. Abuza is not going to do anything. And Steve-O flies at him as well. Just the aggression coming out of August will allow them to walk away with that map 5-ton.
Really, really well played. You know, we said every single time we've watched August on this map, they look really, really good. And case in point, they looked fantastic on that map. And I don't think we'll see it too often against them, to be honest with you, because that was relatively flawless as far as Miami goes. Very, very well played by August.
It certainly was. Well, Ellen, you were watching that game. What did you make of it?
Well, I will tell you what, Brycey. I was in the kitchen. Okay, I had you guys on my big screen, and I was in the kitchen making a protein shake, and I heard the first map going. Los Pepes. Wow. Torres by the 3rd hill, already 20-8, was absolutely frying, and I thought 2 things. Either my prediction just went very, very right, or it just went very, very wrong. And oh man, Orglis with that fire on the map too. Gizmo, I mean, they just kept getting those first bloods. I felt like Orglis taken away with the search and destroy. And I mean, checkmate control. That's a map consistently that we've seen throughout every season. They've just absolutely dominated on the checkmate control. We've always seen them time and time again come out on a win on that map. And I mean, realistically, the Garrison Hardpoint, it kind of just looked like Orglis slowed down a little bit, what looked like a really strong start. I just felt like they kind of just, the tempo just slowed down. And Los Pepes, man, I mean, this is obviously a tough team to beat, but Orglis, like you guys said, Miami Search and Destroy, they've always seemed to come out on top.
Yeah, I mean, Tan, you called that straight away, right? You said Miami is gonna all be them. Probably weren't expecting it to be that one-sided, though.
No, not quite. It's very nice when it does happen, though, that I get things right, because I've got a grasp on them, Brycey, you don't by this point. But no, absolutely yeah, I didn't expect it to be as one-sided, but again, it's just that piano control. They're very, very good at it, and they kind of just dictate them on from there. And they just catch them off guard. They mix up their strats quite often when it does come to the attacking side of things, and then when they're 5-1 up, they run 3 men down mid-street. You're not going to predict that, really, are you? It's very difficult. But Los Pepes have got to take some positives away from that one. Their hardpoint looks really, really good. If they can fix up one of their other game modes, then they're in with a shout of doing really well this season. But they do need to fix up their other game modes. You can't just rely on hardpoint.
You certainly can't. Well, from great games that we've seen to great games that we are going to see, if you are keeping up with this broadcast, here is our schedule. We started off the day with Team War taking down Hot Tub Meta 3-0, and then in a 5-map thriller, August defeat Los Pepes. After our little break, we will of course be flying all the way over to our North American region, where we will find Trash Bros versus Built by Gamers, and then Nemo versus E-Star. And that is going to be potentially our final game of the night, but I always put the caveat of we always watch bonus games if we can find them. An awful lot to come between these two. Ellen, of the games we've seen so far and the games to come, what do you think your favourite's going to be?
I think, you know what, I'm really excited to see that Easter versus Nemo game because, for one, I mean, obviously Easter yesterday, they didn't get a win. So I want to see maybe today if they can flip the script and see what's going on with that squad to where everything just seemed to be going really well for them like the previous week. And then now this week, it just doesn't seem like they're putting up the numbers that they were. So going into that match, I just really want to see if they can just flip the script today and get a win under their belt.
Yeah, me too. And of course, all that is to come up, and more great Call of Duty. Challengers Elite never fails to disappoint here, and our European region has, of course, wrapped up for the day with great plays out of the teams we have ended up seeing. But I will say, August seem like they've had the best day possible themselves. 2-0 on the day and great performances in both. Feel privileged to see both of those games come out. But from Europe to North America coming up, another great region where a lot of players are expected to be the next franchise players we can see. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in just a few hours.